Today on Judge Faith, a parking dispute turns into threats and road rage.
I know where your house is. I know where you park your red truck. I know your wife.
I walk out my front door and I see him every day. If I don't see him, I see his vehicle. And that's so unsettling. I'm supposed to go home and feel safe, and I don't feel safe. We had to install cameras so that we could just catch anything. That's been our daily lives.
What's funny? What's funny about that to you?
Because they acting it out. She's not even crying. Look at her. She's acting like she's crying, but there's no tears.
If you keep talking, I'm gonna find you in contempt.
Plaintiff Juan D. Velasco and his wife Lorena Cortez are suing a neighbor for damage to their motorcycle and lost wages. Manuel Cabezas says the motorcycle hit his truck, and he's countersuing for lost wages.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is case Velasco versus Cabezas.
Thank you, Barbara. Mr. Velasco, you're suing the defendant for $1,588 for damages to your motorcycle and lost wages. Mr. Cabezas, you say you owe the plaintiff nothing because you did not hit his motorcycle, and you're countersuing for $1,170 in lost wages. Mr. Velasco, we'll start with you. What happened?
So first of all, Your Honor, this guy and I, we live in the same neighborhood, and we never met before.
That's not true.
On April 23rd, I was working on my motorcycle with a friend. We were fixing the right-hand mirror. It was a little loose, so I needed to take care of the...
Where were you doing this?
In front of my house. I was parked legally, 90
Across
degrees
the street
on my bike.
from his house.
Yeah.
Okay, don't interrupt, sir. Let me hear what he said.
So I was parked on my motorcycle and working on it, when out of nowhere, this guy shows up with his van, pulls next to us, and he comes out of his van and he's saying, "Hey, don't you see that I'm trying to park there? You need to move away." To which, to me was a little surprising and aggressive, his tone. So I just respond, "Look, I'm parked here. I've been parked here for all morning and I'm working on my bike right now. I don't plan to move away." So he said immediately, "I know where your house is. I know where you park your red truck. I know your wife." And all these statements that out loud to someone that you've never met before, it's a little, threatening, and it's just a little scary to me.
Was your motorcycle parked directly in front of your house where you live?
So my house, it was in front of the street, in front of my house.
Across the street, Judge.
Was it parked in front of someone's driveway?
Yes, in the neighbor's driveway.
Hold on a second. I haven't asked you anything.
Okay.
It was parked legally at 90 degrees, that's all. Yes.
So he pulls up, he wants you to move, you guys exchange words, what happens next?
So as I said, I'm not planning on moving. He gets into his van and he backs up, and I'm saying, "Hey, you're gonna hit my bike," because obviously the space was really small. He was trying to park in front of a driveway. And then he hits my bike when he goes forward, and I just pull off my cell phone really quick and record what happened.
On the driveway.
Really, really fast it happened. I said, "Hey, you hit my bike, you need to give me your insurance." Completely ignore me, and he just walked away, give me his bag, and shut a door.
Okay, and did you call the police?
I said, "I'm not gonna give you the insurance."
I said, don't interrupt.
Okay, Judge.
So,
Did you call the police?
So basically what happened is that I was trying to talk to him, and he just walked away. So at that point I was obligated to just call SFPD. So I called SFPD. They came to...
SFPD is
San Francisco Police Department.
Okay.
So
they responded. Do you have a police report?
I have a collision report card.
Let me see that.
Yes.
Okay, sir, I'll hear from you.
Okay.
What happened?
Okay, Your Honor.
First of all, do you live on this street?
I live a few blocks up the street. I was working on the person's house where this happened.
Okay.
So my neighbor and friend, also my client, she has complained to me in the past how they both switch over with the motorcycle and the big red truck, and so when the space comes available, he comes and parks his bike in the middle so nobody can get there, and then she comes with a big red truck and blocks the whole entire area. So this old person, my neighbor, she
How
can...
many vehicles do you have?
We have 3 vehicles. We have a truck for business. We have my motorcycle, which is my main transportation because I go downtown a lot. It's super hard to park in San Francisco. And then we have a mini, a car to just
And the red car, too.
Okay, and where do you keep those vehicles parked?
We park in the
street.
street because there's street
I
parking.
can't hear what he's saying because you keep
I
interrupting.
thought it was my time. Didn't you say it was my
I'm
time to
asking him a
speak?
question and he's answering it.
So Basically, we need to park on the street because, like everyone else in San Francisco, street parking is very hard. And basically, if you see a spot, you park in it, and that's about it. You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how it is in that.
Okay, but on this particular
That's
day,
the
you
problem.
drive up and his motorcycle is parked. Was it in front of the? Are you saying his motorcycle was in front of a driveway?
Yes.
Or on the street? You're
And
saying his
in the
motorcycle was
street,
blocking
in the
driveway.
street on the driveway, because in the city in San Francisco, the houses are tight together, wall to wall, so there's no space in between properties. So one little space like this is worth a lot of money, literally. You know, like people fight for space to park, and neighbors got this silent code that they respect the spaces, you know. But this couple right here have a lot of cars.
But you don't
so
live
they don't
on the
respect
street. You were a
nobody's
visitor.
spaces.
You were a visitor on
No,
the street, right?
No, I'm a contractor.
You were working.
I was
you were
working
visiting someone who
on my
lives
friend's
on the street.
house. I was
Okay.
working on my friend's house right across the street from their house. He has a 10-foot wide sidewalk. He has
I
plenty
understand
of
that,
space.
but it wasn't your parking space that they were
It was the
blocking, right?
driveway of my customer.
Okay, so you go.
I have the right and a
you
contract.
You see his motorcycle parked
Yes.
there. What happens?
No, his motorcycle wasn't parked there. I was there, and the space became available. I was gonna pull forward. I asked him to move. I have actually asked him to move in the past already. 2 weeks before this happened, I told him, hey man, I didn't say exactly what happened, but because it was no need for that, but my client was complaining that he was blocking the driveway all the time and she can never get in there. And so I was about to start the job, and I told him, he was already blocking me when I told him, look man, can you not please park here? Because I need to get over here with my truck, and I got equipment, I got tools, I got materials, I got helpers. There's trash that comes out of here, there's things that are gonna go in.
Okay, so what happened? You
And
had
so
this
can you please
conversation
not
with
park
him.
here? And so he go, okay, no problem. He checked his head, okay, fine. And he went and parked across the street on his sidewalk where he has plenty of room for that.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
Stop
That didn't
talking.
happen.
Stop
that
talking.
happened after the incident.
If you
In
keep
fact,
talking,
there was a guy.
sit down. Sit down.
And later,
We had to install cameras so that like we could just catch anything. Like that's been our daily lives.
Juan Velasco and his wife Lorena Cortez are suing contractor Manuel Cabezas for damages, claiming he deliberately hit their motorcycle with his truck. Manuel says it was Juan who caused the damage. He owes nothing and is countersuing for lost wages.
I'm asking you specifically what happened on this date.
This is
at
what's
this
happening. Let me
time
finish
with
the story. I'm getting
motorcycle.
there. This thing
No,
is
no, 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 no.
it's an
Hold on.
ongoing
Stop,
incident.
Stop. Let me
Okay?
get you straight on something.
Okay.
I'm asking you a question and I want you to answer it. You're trying to tell me about everything else that's happening. I'm asking you how his motorcycle hit your truck as you allege.
He
Tell
blocked
me
his
about-
motorcycle.
Stop interrupting me
Okay.
and answer my question.
Yes.
How are you saying his motorcycle hit your truck and damaged your
His
truck?
motorcycle never hit my truck. In fact, I got a pictures here with motorcycle when I park, and he was parked, and he doesn't park in a 40. He parks in a 45-degree angle, not a 90-degree angle. Look, this is it right here.
Barbara, hand me those pictures.
And the damages that he's claiming that I did to him, you know, I got pictures of all his damages, and you know, it has nothing to do with my truck.
You said in your answer, sir, that his motorcycle hit your truck. I'm asking you how that happened.
He didn't hit my motor. I'm confused. He didn't hit my. I didn't hit him.
Why are you confused? All I'm asking you to do is tell the truth.
There's a lot
What's
of things
confusing
going
about
on.
the
There's a lot
truth?
of questions happening. That didn't happen. That's his story.
Exactly, that didn't happen.
You got the picture right there to prove it. And this is the damages that he's claiming. Tell me that I did that with my bumper. I mean, somebody smart can say that this was a road rash, that he dropped his bike on the street, and then he scraped it with the sidewalk or with the asphalt. My bumper could have done this.
Let's put up
Look
these
at
photos on the plasma. What is this a picture of?
it. Do you see my truck? My van hitting this motorcycle
Okay, so
there?
that's your white van,
Yes.
and that is your
And my bumper is
motorcycle
black,
painted?
Your Honor.
Your Honor, as you can see, I'm not in the driveway. That's the sidewalk. And it's 45 degrees because he moved my bike when he hit it.
I move your bike.
And there's pictures right here that I can
You're
prove
so
that
full
way.
of it.
When you hit the bike.
I have pictures right here that I can
Okay,
prove
next
them.
picture. And this is a picture of.
Of the other side of his motorcycle, if you allow me, I can
And you
point
took
out
this
to you.
photo?
Stay where you are.
Huh?
Okay.
I can point out to you where he got scratches on the same place as the opposite side where he said that I hit his motorcycle. Like this guy's been dropping. He doesn't know how to ride this bike. He drops it everywhere.
I'm sorry,
And then
Your
now
Honor.
he wants
I'm
me to
sorry.
repair it for
I've
him.
never
Do you
had
have
an
pictures
accident
that
on
you
my
want to
bike.
show me?
Yeah.
Okay, let me
please.
see those. Barbara, would you hand me his pictures?
He got scratches all over the bike, and now he want me to pay
Stop
for all
talking.
that because he thinks I'm a big-time contractor. You know, that's not happening
Yep.
here.
Okay, what is this? I'm not asking you, I'm asking him. What is
That's
this
his
a photo
van,
of?
and that's the bumper which he hit my bike with.
Okay, so you're saying there's damage on the bumper from where he hit your bike?
Yeah, you can see how he
scratches?
has scratches as well.
Okay,
Do-
let's see the next picture.
Your Honor, do you see the scratches? Hold on.
Stop talking.
Can I say something about that?
No,
Okay, well, can we go back to the after?
no.
Why not?
Okay, what is this a picture of?
So that's a picture of the left engine of my bike and how he hit.
Do you see the scratches white? My bumper is black. How can I do
Actually,
that?
That's taking off the
actually
paint of
looks
my-
like the paint has completely come off the
Yes.
motorcycle down to the metal.
Yes.
That's not paint.
Yes.
So he's saying that you hit his bike and scratched the paint completely off, and that's metal.
Yes,
Okay,
but you can
hold on
see
one
those
second.
scratches are from the bottom up, as when you drop the motorcycle, not from side to side, like if I was swiping him, like he says. If
can
you
see
see
them.
this, oh, I'm
Stay
sorry.
behind the podium, please.
Okay, if you see the scratches, how they go up like this, that has nothing to do with me.
Okay, all right, sir. Give me 1 second here.
Unless I was driving a rocket, you know?
Stop talking.
Okay.
Your Honor, as I was saying, he wasn't giving me his insurance information. I had to call the police. Then
course not.
they were able to get his insurance.
Okay,
but-
so you called the police, you
Yes.
asked for his insurance information,
Yes, the
and what
police-
happened with that?
So the police asked me what happened. They asked him what happened. They came back to me. They said, "Look, we weren't here. You need to show us something." So I showed them a video that I got on at the moment of the collision.
Okay, you have the video?
Yes. I
Okay,
have a
let's look at the video.
Well, I don't have the video. How am I supposed to defend?
I don't care
You
if
see
you-
that
Stop
didn't
talking.
happen.
Stop
that
talking.
happened after the incident.
If you
In
keep
fact,
talking,
there was a guy.
sit down, sit down.
Okay.
Okay, let's play the video again.
I apologize, Your Honor. That was.
What are we looking at in this video?
So you're looking at him driving his truck, trying to park on that parking spot and hitting my bike. You can see his wheels when he backed up, and the entire motorcycle is moving.
He's moving the camera. The truck is not moving.
I don't see that the truck is moving in this video, but stop it right there. What I do see, though, is the kickstand is still down
Thank you.
on the motorcycle. You did say in your answer that he backed his motorcycle up into your truck. How would he be able to do that if the kickstand is still down? It looks like it never
Because
moved.
he got off the motorcycle, put the kickstand down, and went out with the camera and took a picture. And the other guy that was working at the job site told me that he saw him moving the truck.
Coming up on Judge Faith.
Do you understand this is my courtroom and I run this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we don't go back
But
to
this
anything
person
unless
is
I want
lying,
to.
is
Be
lying and
quiet.
putting me over here on the
That's what she's
stand, you know,
asking.
and want me to fix his motorcycle based on a lie.
If you
know?
keep talking, I'm going to find you in contempt.
Juan Velasco and his wife Lorena Cortez are suing contractor Manuel Cabezas for damages to his motorcycle. Manuel says he owes nothing.
Did you ever contact the defendant's insurance company?
So yes, exactly. I got the report from the police and his insurance. I contacted his insurance. I filed an insurance claim with my own insurance, and there was a response from his insurance. You know, maybe a month later.
What was
or
that
maybe a little
response?
bit, that he wasn't insured at the time of collision.
Okay, step back up to the lectern. Were you insured at the time of this?
Yes, Your
incident?
Honor. It was a lapse of insurance because I had another truck before that one.
So you were not insured?
Oh, yes, I was insured. I got insurance here.
Okay, and so what happened
The
when...
insurance denied the claim because I told them exactly what I'm telling you. And I told them that I didn't hit him, I didn't touch him or anything. And insurance said, well, if you didn't hit him, we had just purchased the truck. I had another van. And so when you buy a new vehicle, you got 30 days lapse.
You
for
said
the
your insurance denied his claim. I want to know why you say they denied it.
Because I told my insurance what I just have said to you guys over here today. You know, that I didn't hit the bike.
You're saying that they found that he was at
have
fault,
to
and so
say
that's
one
why they
more
denied the
thing,
claim?
please.
Answer my question.
Yes.
All right. Let me hear from you.
Wait,
and
I
while,
gotta say
no,
one more
no.
thing.
Let me hear from you, and while you're talking, hand up. You have an estimate for damages for your
Yes, I
bike?
do, Your Honor.
Let me have a look at that, please.
I want to go back to that picture. When
I'm not going back to. Do you understand this is my courtroom and I
This is
run this?
insurance.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so we don't go back
But
to
this
anything
person
unless
is
I
lying,
want to.
is
Be
lying and
quiet.
putting me over here on the
That's what she's
stand, you know, and want me to fix his motorcycle based on a lie.
If you
know?
keep talking, I'm going to find you in contempt.
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I'll hear from you.
And this is
ma'am.
the
I'm his
estimates.
wife. I arrived at the scene when the police were bringing the defendant back. My husband told me what was going on, and he was telling me that we should be concerned because he knows exactly where we live. He knows our vehicles. He knows who I am. Like, I immediately went into I was frightened. I'm still frightened, and you can see how aggressive he is. And this is what
nice
I
guy.
want.
Don't talk to her. You talk to me. Don't speak to another litigant in my courtroom.
I walk out my front door and I see him every day. If I don't see him, I see his vehicle, and that's so unsettling. I'm supposed to go home and feel safe, and I don't feel safe. And we had to install cameras so that we could just catch anything. That's been our daily lives.
What's funny? What's funny about that to you?
Because they acting it out. She's not even crying. Look at her. She's acting like she's crying, but there's no tears. Your Honor, look, you see the estimate?
shaking
Do you see
right
the
now.
estimate? Have you seen the
I have
estimate?
the estimate. I'm looking at it now.
Does it look like all these parts were damaged?
Did
Look
you
at the
get
picture.
this? Did you get this work done on the motorcycle? Did you
haven't.
actually get the work done?
I haven't. I don't have the money to.
So
this
there's
is just
nothing
an
damaged.
estimate.
Yeah, I took the motorcycle to BMW in San Francisco. You know, I cannot tell them what to judge or not. I told them what happened, and they did an evaluation on the parts that were scratched and damaged.
Okay.
Also, I had to pay for that estimate up front. And I wouldn't be here in this court today, and I wouldn't have to go through all this trouble if this person was insured properly, because then I would be dealing with insurance, and that's it.
Well, he said he was insured, and the
Right here.
insurance
And
denied
as
the
you
claim.
can
Let me see
see,
your proof of
his
insurance.
insurance says that
Stay behind the podium, sir.
his insurance says that the vehicle
Hold on one
listed-
second. Let me see. Okay. And what do you have?
This document, his insurance states that his vehicle does not qualify for coverage under the terms and conditions of the policy.
Okay. Hand that up to Barbara, please. We're going to take a brief recess. Court's adjourned.
Who's lying? Judge Faith gets to the bottom of it after this. Court is back in session as Judge Faith rules.
There's something to be said about someone who comes into this courtroom, looks a judge right in the face, and outright lies to them. And if you lie to me, if you try to perpetrate a fraud on this court, you will be held accountable. I contacted your insurance company. Not only did they never investigate this claim, they never told you that it was the plaintiff's fault for this accident. You know why? Because you didn't have insurance at the time. Your insurance
No, you
had
wouldn't.
lapsed.
No, you wouldn't contact my
Absolutely.
insurance company, and they
Absolutely.
wouldn't
I
say
checked
that to
with
you.
Do
I am
not
sure
interrupt
they
me.
wouldn't
I
send
am
that to you.
ruling. Do
I am
not
100%
speak.
sure
Are
they
you
wouldn't say
talking
that to
over
you.
me?
No, I would
Do
not.
not speak. Do not interrupt me.
Yes, because I have
I
insurance,
said
and this
don't
insurance
speak
is not
and don't
fake, and
interrupt
we can
me.
call him right
You know
now,
what?
as a matter of fact.
Get out. You're done. We are done.
Okay,
Get
fine.
out. Get him out of here, Barbara.
Fine.
Because you
I'm
lied
outta
to
here.
me.
Step on
You
out.
did not have insurance. Your insurance had lapsed.
Step on out.
And I believe every
That
word
only
he
proves
said
that
about
he's
the
a better
accident.
liar,
Bye.
and you are in
Goodbye, sir.
conspiracy
Thank
against
you.
him.
Step on
I mean,
out.
against me, and on his favor. That's the only thing that he
out.
proves. Because this
Step
insurance
on
is
out.
not a lie, and
Step
I'm not
on
a
out.
liar, and I'm not a liar.
Get
all right?
out of
Step on
court.
out.
I'm not a liar. Don't accuse me
Step-
of lying, because that's insurance right
Step
there.
on out. That way.
I don't accept this kind of behavior in my courtroom, and I think that his behavior exhibits the kind of bully and coward he is. I think he did exactly what you said he did. I think you didn't want to move, and you were legally parked in that space, and he hit your motorcycle with his truck.
So, thank you.
The defendant thinks he's a tough guy, but he's
It's-
not a tough guy, because tough guys, real men, don't damage someone else's property to resolve conflict. Real men don't resort to violence to resolve conflict. And real men don't come into this courtroom, look a judge in their face, and lie to them. My judgment in this case is for the plaintiff. Verdict for the plaintiff, $1,288.
Thank you, Your Honor.
A near-fatal accident forced these two to face each other in court.
And all of a sudden, I just hear a roar. I see a truck right on me. Boom! Your Honor, not only did he hit me, he was going to flee the scene of the accident.
I mean, you're lucky that truck went right by your
I
head.
smelled his tire.
And later, Latrina and Savannah battle it out before the judge.
I'm like, okay, this is an A and B conversation. See yourself out of it. I mean, then she was like, I'm gonna put my hands on you. I said, once you put your hands on me, you're gonna go to jail because obviously you can see I'm pregnant.
But Judge Faith tells the ladies to pump the brakes on their baby mama drama.
You have a choice to make here. This is not a therapy session, this is court. You have kids with the same man, so you are going to be connected in some kind of way.
I agree.
For a long time.
Plaintiff Sherwin Ross says he was blissfully riding his motorcycle when the defendant slammed into him. He's suing for a deductible, damaged jeans, and loss of income. But defendant Marcos Contreras says the police report determined it was Sherman who was at fault for speeding into the intersection, and he owes the plaintiff nothing. Joining him in court is Elizabeth Gilman.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is Ross versus Contreras.
Thank you, Barbara. Mr. Ross, you are suing the defendant for hitting you with his truck while you were riding your motorcycle. You say he owes you $10,000 for a deductible, ruining your designer jeans, and loss of income due to pain and suffering. Mr. Contreras, you say you don't owe anything because the accident was the plaintiff's fault. I'll hear from you first, Mr. Ross. What happened?
Okay. I was driving 9:25 in the morning on March 19th. Beautiful morning, totally at peace, enjoying the day. And all of a sudden, I just hear a roar. I see a truck right on me. Boom! He hit my front fender. I went flying. I went down to the ground. My bike spun around. Your Honor, not only did he hit me, he was going to flee the scene of the accident. Somebody ran after his truck and stopped him. It was caught on closed-circuit TV.
Okay, let's take a look at it.
So this is Marcos coming down in the red truck. Before he gets the middle of the intersection, boom! He speeds up, hit me. You can see the truck hitting my front fender. The front of my bike was in the front of his truck. I'm down on the ground. People start running over. He has no driver's license, and he has no insurance.
Sorry.
He shouldn't have even been behind the wheel of a truck. He's a danger. I have a mild concussion. I still have vertigo to this day. My head spins. I still have elbow pain, knee pain.
I mean, you're lucky. That truck went right by your head.
I smelled his tire. I smelled the rubber. Another 6 inches, I'd be pinned under my bike with the hot mufflers melting my skin. I'd be pinned under the bike, pinned under the truck, just another 6 inches. My crash bar saved the whole day. You know, in the trauma center, the police came to visit me. That's when they told me that, you know, you're pretty much SOL. The guy that hit you has no driver's license and no insurance. And we see this every day. He came up to me at the scene of the accident.
This was a really serious accident, and I'm really glad that you were wearing a helmet. And that's one of the reasons why it's important to wear helmets when people are on bikes.
Your Honor.
Because your head hit the pavement, and you really could have suffered really serious injuries as a result of this. I want to know how, if we go back to the video, the first frame in that video, you said that someone told you that it was okay to go. You obviously couldn't see around the cars that were next to you. Someone on the street told you that it was okay for you to proceed forward?
No, there's motorists driving there. They say, yes, keep going, because I was going too slow.
Let's roll the video again. The fact is, I don't think you could see around the cars that were next to you. You pause right there, and then you speed up to go through the intersection.
Yeah,
and that's when you hit him.
I was trying to stop. It was clear. It was totally clear.
It wasn't clear. It wasn't clear because you hit him in 3 seconds. It wasn't clear.
It was clear.
So you're saying that you were driving through the intersection.
Yes.
You stopped at the stop sign.
Yes.
Why did you go if you couldn't see what was on either side of you? It was not clear, sir.
It was like a half.
He enters that intersection in less than 3 seconds after you proceed to go through the intersection.
Even the cops told me that.
The fact is, you didn't see him. And just because you didn't see him, you want to say that it was clear. It wasn't clear. Your defense is you were going through the intersection, he was speeding, sped up, and that's how you ended up hitting him? That's your defense?
I didn't hit him. He hit me. He landed on me.
You know what?
A cop told me, I don't have the paper with me, but it's a cop stuff was there. I said, look, I asked them, it's my fault. They said, you know what?
Well, you know what? You didn't bring your paperwork to court, so in my mind, it doesn't even exist.
Oh,
you don't have your paperwork, it doesn't exist. That's your burden of proof. Who's your witness today?
I got my witness, my wife.
Okay, let's hear, what do you have to say, ma'am? Step up to the lectern.
I was not there. I did not see the accident. I was not with Marcos. All I know is that Sherwin came to our house.
Okay, well, don't tell me anything that he told you because that's hearsay.
I did give him my phone number as well because at that time...
Where was Marcos?
He was still in jail.
Oh,
at that point.
Why were you in jail?
I was in jail, not because of the accident. And maybe this one, he can help you. I asked the cop, look, what I'm being arrested? He said, you're not arrested for the accident because it's not your fault. In fact, they showed me the video when I was in Lake County, and they said, look, you were 3 miles an hour, and then he was 25. He was speeding. He said, okay, what is my charges? They said, you had accumulation tickets for warrants. You haven't paid.
You were
That's
arrested
why.
at the scene for warrants,
For
outstanding warrants.
Not for accident.
Warrants
Okay,
for
what
what?
accident? My fault. They said, no, it's not your fault.
Warrants for
he was
what?
speeding.
Warrants for what?
One, for now driving without insurance. 2, for using the phone.
While you're driving.
That's why
Driving violations. Other
and another
driving
one for
violations.
invalid license.
That sounds
and
about right.
like 3 more warrants for being late on my child support.
Coming up on Judge Faith, who had the right of way?
I've been riding for 45 years. I've never had an accident.
Me either.
After this,
You have enough tickets to last you a lifetime, so I need you to be quiet.
And later, Judge Faith talks truth to these 2 dueling divas.
I was not breaking into
God,
his
there's
house.
no excuse for
There's
the
no
eggs,
excuse.
the king of the cars.
But this has to do with
calling
him.
somebody
This has
70
nothing to do
times.
with her.
No,
All
ma'am.
I did
No,
was call
ma'am.
her
This
phone.
is your life, and these are your choices
Yeah, of
that you
course.
were making.
It has
You're
nothing
not
to do
making
with
the
her,
right
Your Honor.
choices.
Plaintiff Sherwin Ross says he was blissfully riding his motorcycle when the defendant slammed into him. He's suing for a deductible, damaged jeans, and loss of income. But defendant Marcos Contreras says the police report determined it was Sherwin who was at fault for speeding into the intersection, and he owes the plaintiff nothing.
when I went to finally face Marcos face to face after Elizabeth told me he just got out of jail, I then said, Marcos, do you know you nearly killed me? And he said, oh, yeah. This man did not apologize to me. He had no compassion of this life-changing event in my world. It's a life-changing event.
What do you have to say about that?
I don't clearly remember that day when he stopped by. I was working that day there. I specifically work in that place every day. I work, basically on most of the dealers in South California, piano dealers.
I've been riding for 45 years. I've never had an accident.
Me either.
After this,
You have enough tickets to last you a lifetime, so I need you to be quiet.
I honestly have lost a lot of the joy I had in riding. I'm very scared now. Every intersection I go into, I'm like waving to people, flashing my lights, revving the engine.
Right.
Do you see me? Do you see me? I'm so,
Well, it's a traumatic experience.
It's
When
traumatic.
you're hit like that in an
Then you should have
accident,
been
it's a
speeding.
traumatic
You
experience.
should pay attention
You
too.
didn't know.
I was
You don't
going
know
20
that he
miles
was
an hour.
speeding because you
No,
didn't
the
see
cop
him.
told me you were like 30 miles
Don't
an hour right
speak
there
to
in an
him.
intersection, 50 miles an hour.
35 miles an hour is the speed zone.
A picture really is worth 1,000 words because when I look at that video and I see that intersection, he has the right of way. There's no stop sign. Do not interrupt while I'm ruling. He has no stop sign. There is no red light. You didn't see him, so you don't know if he was speeding or not. That's just an excuse
A
you're
cop
trying to
told me.
use. I said don't interrupt. And I see you come up to that stop sign in that intersection, and you clearly can't see what's on the right of you because you slowly creep forward, and then you speed up and accelerate to go through the intersection.
nobody
I
coming over.
said, don't interrupt. That's 3 times. The next time you're out. Less than 3 seconds later, you hit him head on in the front of his motorcycle, and you barely miss his head when you drive around him. You could have killed him. So I find you are liable for this accident. The question is how much you're going to pay him in damages. You owe him $1,000 for the deductible. I also find that you owe him for the ambulance bill, which is $1,451.75. Do you have proof that you missed work as a result of this accident?
I have no proof.
Because you were not
I'm
working.
self-employed and I was working.
Okay, well, that's unfortunate. I can't award you for missing work. The motorcycle was covered under your insurance, so there's no out-of-pocket expenses for the motorcycle itself. Verdict for the plaintiff in the amount of $2,451.75. You need to keep your eye on the road and stop running people over.
Plaintiff Ladrina Underwood says her baby daddy's other baby mama ruined her summer vacation. She's suing the defendant for harassment. But defendant Savannah Kuntz is countersuing for pain and suffering because she claims Ladrina is intentionally causing baby mama drama.
Okay, Ladrina Underwood?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant Savannah Kuntz for $500 for harassment?
Yes.
And Ms. Kuntz, you are countersuing for $2,000 for pain and suffering?
Yes.
Okay, we'll start with you. Ms. Underwood, what's going on here? How do you know the defendant?
The defendant and I both have a child by the same man. She has, the first time that we came across.
How old is your child?
She's 8 years old now.
Okay, and how old is your child?
8 months.
Do you have a boy or girl?
A little boy.
Okay.
I've been dealing with her harassment since day one.
Are you still with the baby's father?
I was not with him when she got pregnant by him.
Okay. What about you? Are you still seeing him?
No, not at all.
By the way, where is Casanova today? Is he
MIA? MIA.
Okay. How many babies does Romeo have by
3.
different women?
3.
Okay.
3
All
women,
right.
3 children.
He might not be best boyfriend, but he is an
That's an
excellent
understatement.
father.
I consider an excellent father to be someone who's a good role model to their kids.
He's a
And
good role
in order to
model.
be a good role model to your kids, you have to know how to treat the people in your life.
He's a
So
good
I'm just
role
saying,
model.
don't sell yourself short.
Oh,
when you say that, because
I don't sell myself short, and I'm not dating him. The problem is harassment.
I'm not sure if you
she's
are
harassing
or not,
me.
because I don't understand why the two of you are here, and why the two of you. I understand that you have children with the same man, and that's just a fact. You have to accept it. That happened.
That's right.
And
That's right.
the fact that the two of you are in so much conflict doesn't make a lot of sense to me. You have a choice to make. You can either get along because your kids are going to see each other and be together if they're with their father, or you can do what you've been doing, which is cause each other to have miserable lives. So which is it going to be?
She caused me to have miserable lives.
I tried to
She called me
bury the
over
hatchet.
70 times.
Hold on a second.
Called
What
me
did she
over
do?
70 times
Yes, I did.
every day.
Yes.
And you see, she admits
I
to it.
Coming up, Judge Faith calls a timeout on the baby mama drama.
This is just a bunch of drama.
It is
to
a
be
bunch of
honest with
drama.
you.
The
This is a
problem
bunch of
is,
drama. No one else is responsible
agree.
for the
I
choices that
agree.
you make.
And then,
That's
like I
on
said-
you.
Plaintiff Ladrina Underwood says the defendant ruined her summer vacation. She's suing for harassment. But defendant Savannah Kuntz is countersuing for pain and suffering because she claims the plaintiff intentionally caused the baby mama drama.
That's borderline stalking, harassment.
Yeah,
which is what
I admit
she's
that I
suing
was
for
doing
now.
that because
She's
she
upset
was sitting
because
here
we
calling my.
co-parent.
She will not stop getting in our business, Your Honor. She keep involving
not
herself.
involve
Every time I go
myself.
to his house,
I do not
she
involve
comes into
myself
like one
at all
time
with
she
the
tried to put her
defendant.
hands on me
I
when I
blocked
was
her
pregnant.
number.
Hold on a
I called
second.
the police
Hold
on
on.
her.
One time when I was pregnant, me and him were talking. He came out to talk to me. He's like, I'm gonna take you home. And I was like, okay. She comes outside with her kids. I'm like, okay, this is an A and B conversation. See yourself out of it. She's like, no, we gotta go get the baby just outfit
I don't
from
act
Ross.
like that. We see
I'm
you
like,
act like
excuse
that.
me? I'm like, excuse me? And then she was like, I'm gonna put my hands on you. I said, that's what you're not gonna do is put your hands on me. I said, once you put your hands on me, you're gonna go to jail because obviously you can see I'm pregnant. She was like, get her out my face, get her out my face, get her out my face. I swear I'm here. I said, girl, boo, if you wanna take it there, we're
Do
gonna
you
take
see?
it there.
Who did the egging and scratching up
did.
somebody's car?
But
What
this
he
has
did.
nothing to do with her. This has nothing to
Your
do
Honor,
with her, Your
me
Honor.
and my children were at the home at that time. Like I said,
When was that?
We co-parent. It was in the summer of 2013.
And what did you do?
Basically, when I was telling the story about when I went to the house, she opened the door, she closed the door. So I was like, send him outside. She was like, no, he's not gonna stop talking. So they called the police. The police came out and I explained what happened. They was like, so what do you want to happen? I said, to be honest, I just want him to talk. Every time he's at my house, he gotta jump and leave. And I'm like, why are you
Enjoy your pregnancy
leaving?
with him.
And I'm
You
like, why are
didn't
you
have him.
leaving?
I
She
don't
was
have
like-
him.
So what did you do? You egged the house?
Yes,
She
I
angry
did.
over
And I
a man.
paid
Neither
for it,
one
and
of us are
I
rich.
have proof that I paid him for the damages of this year.
So far, you've admitted to egging a house.
Yes,
calling her over 70 times.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just saying, you're almost 30 years old. You're acting like a scorned teenager.
And I got a
That's
video.
just real.
Yeah,
No. That's real. Let me tell you something. Let me finish. No, because you are a mother now. That is very lowbrow behavior.
But someone keeps pushing me.
No, ma'am. You are responsible for your life. No one else is responsible for the choices that you make. That's on you. And let me tell you something. You are not making the right choices. You should have higher expectations for yourself, because if he wanted to be with you, no one could stop him from being with you. Not her, not anyone else.
Yes.
That's his choice.
And he admitted to that.
This is just a bunch of drama.
It is a bunch of drama.
The problem is she's been
What's the
harassing me.
video?
I'm tired
You
of it.
submitted a video for evidence?
I had a video. Me and my daughter were at home. I house sit for him.
What is this a video of?
This is her sticking her hand in through the window. I did.
What am I seeing here?
She is sticking her hand in through the curtain, trying to see if he's home, because he wasn't, so I did not answer the door. And then she finally sees, oh, it's me, and telling me she don't care if she's being videotaped, and she just
Where's the audio?
there.
Where's the audio?
What, is that you?
Where's the audio?
I'm asking,
That's her.
is that you?
Yeah. I still got the video on my phone to this day.
Where's the audio?
And you are doing what exactly in this
I
video?
was talking, when I came to his
cut the
house,
screen.
first
Hold on
of
a
all,
second.
when I came to his house, I was going through an emotional, threatening a miscarriage. Then on top of that, I became temporarily homeless. He told me to come to the house. He was like, come straight to the house. He was like, I'm at the beach with the children. Come straight to the house. I said, okay, I'm coming straight to the house.
Don't stop interrupting.
So when I got to the house, I'm knocking on the door. I'm texting him like, okay, I'm at the house. He's like, okay, I'm here. I said, how are you here? I said, how are you here? And I hear someone moving in the house. So I'm talking through the screen. I was like, you know what? He stopped texting. So I'm talking through the screen. I'm pouring my feelings out through the screen, crying, hysterical, letting him know, like, I can't do this. I'm at a point where I'm homeless. Me and my daughter, you sat here and left us for dead. I can't do this anymore. I got to go back out of state to try to get back right so I can come back out here for my child. I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm hearing movement and snickering. So I cut the screen. I did do that. And when I looked through the window, she's recording. She's recording. I'm like, wait a minute. So you telling me you've been recording this the whole time? Yep, I was recording the whole time. I said, so why would you play with my emotions? Like, why are you taking somebody talking through a screen and start recording, and then you're snickering? Like, that's immature. I said, she was like, well, you're immature.
Ma'am, you're breaking into somebody's house.
No,
Do you
it wasn't
understand
breaking.
that?
I was not breaking into his house. Your Honor,
you're burglarizing someone's home. That is exactly what it is.
Your Honor.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And now, Judge Faith rules.
There's no excuse for the eggs, the king of the cars.
But this has to do with
calling
him.
somebody
This has
70
nothing to do
times.
with her.
No, ma'am.
All I did
No,
was call
ma'am.
her
This
phone.
is your life, and these are your choices that you were making.
And it has
You're
nothing
not
to do
making
with
the
her,
right
Your Honor.
choices.
It's
You're not
not-
making
that
the right
was then.
choices.
That was then.
You are not making the right choices.
And that was then. And I agree, I wasn't.
Neither one of you are with this guy right now.
I'm not
so
with
you
him.
have to get beyond that
Yes.
and have some mutual respect for each other.
I tried.
Woman,
I tried.
You're not even letting me speak. Calm down. You have kids with the same man, so you are going to be connected in some kind of way
I agree.
for a long time. You have a choice to make here. Whether you are going to continue to cause chaos into each other's lives, because it sounds like he's not going to change, and he's going to be exactly the person who I think he is, and I think who you know him to be at this point.
Yes.
He's not going to change, but you're the one that has to change, because this is not a therapy session, this is court, and so it's going to be up to the two of you. You're not getting any money in this case, because this is nothing but a bunch of drama. Go home, get it together, get your lives together, and move on. If you can't get along, don't contact each other and move on. Have a good day.
This plaintiff knew it would take a camera to prove in court that he had a contract with her.
That's not correct.
I'm recording this as a witness just in case I need to take her to court.
I mean, I've never seen someone who actually has a video promissory note. I'm not mad at you.
And later, he wants to know who drove her car into his building.
He followed the trail of radiator fluid
parts of the car.
He followed the car to the defendant's home.
Yes.
So at that point, you had no idea that your car had been damaged in an accident?
No.
So it was
Okay.
stolen?
I asked the questions in my courtroom, not you.
The plaintiff, Terrence Binford, says he loaned money for a car to the mother of his 2 boys, but she used the money on herself instead. But the defendant, Amanda Barlow, claims Terrence forced her to take the loan, then forgave it, and knew she used the money for unpaid bills. Joining her in court is her friend, Trudy Reed.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Binford versus Barlow.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, Mr. Binford, you are suing the defendant, Amanda Barlow, for $2,500. You say she failed to repay a loan.
Yes.
Okay. Why don't you tell me about your case?
Okay, well, I met the defendant in 06. At the time, I was 23. I was single. I thought she was attractive. You know, she had a nice tan going on.
Can you speak up a little bit?
She had a nice tan. You know, hair was done. Looking, you know, looked attractive, you know, and I was single. So, you know, I sparked a conversation with her, sparked a relationship up with her. We dated for 6.5 years. We have 2 children together.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a 5 and a 4-year-old. They beautiful, 2 sons. But, you know, I mean, things was never good between me and her because we're not compatible, but we end up having children. I try to stick around
And
and
it
make
took
it work.
you 6.5 years to figure
Well,
that
actually,
out?
I knew that prior to us having children, I was finna leave. Then she came home with a pregnancy test, said she was pregnant. So me being a man, you know, not having really a good father figure, I wanted to stay in the household.
Well, she didn't get pregnant by herself.
Yeah, that's
I got her pregnant. That's why I wanted to stay around and take care of my business, which I'm still doing to this day. I pay child support. I take care of my children. I see them when I can. I work 3rd shift, so I mean, the weekends are available to me to see them.
What do you do for a living?
I work for a pharmaceutical company, McKesson. I'm a material handler.
When you say 3rd shift, what does that mean?
I work overnights.
Overnights,
Yeah, I
okay.
work
Well, I
overnights.
think it's
He doesn't always
commendable.
take
I do
them
think
every
it's
weekend.
commendable that you do
I
try
do.
to spend as much time as you can with your kids.
And I mean, she know before child support was even ordered, I took care of the children. I mean, when they first came out of the womb, I got 2 boys, you gotta pay $50 for the circuses, and I've been there. I always took care of the children. That's not an issue. Financially, emotionally, I mean, that's my responsibility, my obligation, that's a pleasure. I shouldn't have to come out of my pocket with extra money to take care of responsibilities that are recovered through the child support. And that's my only
It's
issue
not
with
that
her
much.
getting the child support from me. The money isn't being used probably. I see her with her nails done. She might have on some new clothes, you know, I mean, you know.
Well, what's going on? What's your
Yeah,
response
what's
to
going
that?
on?
That's not correct.
So what's your response to that? Is that true?
I do not go buying myself new clothes. I can't even tell you the last time I bought myself something
That's
new.
not true.
You know, I do buy my kids clothes. I send them to his house and whatever. You know, that's his, he has clothes for
Why would
them
you do
at
that
his
for them?
house. So why is it my responsibility to make sure they're dressed properly
Because
for
I'm
him
paying
to
for
go
their
somewhere?
clothes.
You understand? And this is where the child support comes into play, where he thinks that's all the financial responsibility, that there should be
You don't
nothing
even
more,
make
nothing
sense.
less.
Well, I think he's saying, I think he's saying that he thinks you're putting your wants over the needs of the kids. And
Yeah,
you're
that's
saying that
not
that's not the
correct.
You
case?
get it?
That's not correct.
Okay.
My children have everything that they want and need, way more than his house. His house, they don't
Everybody
even have
got
a
an
bedroom.
opinion.
They don't even have a bedroom at his house.
I got a 1-bedroom. You know, I'm
But
a
he
single
had the
man.
opportunity to get a
What does that
2-bedroom
mean?
and chose not to get it.
She came to me
But
a
at
few
least
months
he's
ago.
spending time with his kids. I mean, that's the most important
You know
part
what
of
I'm
that,
saying?
right?
Yeah, he's
that they're
doing
there.
that. Yeah.
And
I mean,
take
because
care of
I
financially.
know a lot of fathers who choose
Not to be
not
involved.
to be involved in their children's lives. So the fact that he is so involved, you know, doesn't matter that he only has a 1-bedroom. It doesn't matter if it's a studio. Whatever he has, he's making it accessible so he can
Thank
spend time with his kids. That's the most important part.
Correct.
Thank you.
So you know, let's give credit where credit is due
yeah,
on that
definitely,
issue.
yeah.
What's the lawsuit about? Tell me about the $2,000 loan.
Okay, I loaned her some money. I loaned her, she's a thief and a liar. You know what I
No,
mean?
that is not true.
That's-
And so you
just
loan a
lied
thief
right
and a
there.
liar money?
Yeah,
Is that
so
what
he
you
would
do?
loan me the money. That
She's
doesn't
very
make sense.
deceitful. She's a thief and a liar, and the reason why I loaned her the money because she needed a vehicle. It gets cold in Minnesota. I didn't want my
Right.
children out in the cold, you know, on public transportation.
Coming up, Judge Faith takes a moment in court to commend this plaintiff for his good deeds as a dad.
I see a lot of deadbeat dads come through this court. Keep up the good work. And you are lucky. You're lucky that he's the father of your kids.
And later, Douglas gets called out on his bad behavior,
He drug my name through the courts.
and Stephanie gets put in the penalty box.
Miss Hamilton.
He's not giving
Miss
nobody
Hamilton,
time to do
have
anything.
Have a seat, because you won't stop talking.
The plaintiff, Terrence Binford, says he loaned money for a car to the mother of his 2 boys, but she used the money on herself. The defendant, Amanda Barlow, claims the plaintiff forced her to take the loan and knew she used the money for unpaid bills.
Tell me about the $2,000 loan.
So, against my better judgment, I decided to loan her $2,500. I wrote a contract out, and I videoed it because of the type of person she is. I knew we were coming to this. I knew she wasn't just gonna do the right thing and pay me.
What do you mean you videoed the contract?
I videoed her signing the contract saying that she owes me $2,500.
Terrible.
Well, it sounds like he's covering his bases.
Exactly.
I mean, I've never seen someone who actually has a video promissory note, so I'm kind of intrigued by that.
She's a thief and a liar. I had to do that.
Do we have a copy of the video? Let me look at it.
He said
he owed me $2,000.
Hold on a second. Let's look at the video.
$1,700 in my hand.
I'm recording this as a witness just in case I need to take her to court. 'Cause by March 1st, 2014, I should have all my money back, which is $2,000. If it's late, she owes me $2,500.
I don't even think she knows what's going on at the time.
Listen, I'm not mad at you for that. You're not contesting that you signed this document, and that's you in the video,
yes.
correct? Okay,
Now, let me just make something correct.
Why didn't you pay back the money?
And I don't even know what you're talking about. You borrowed $2,000. You didn't pay me by March 1st. $2,500 is owed to me.
I mean, it's a pretty clear contract, so what's your defense?
But he also forgave the loan.
Why would I do that for?
Prior to the month of the contract
That's
in
not
March,
true.
and this is why I brought her.
I don't know why
she
you
was
brought her.
there.
Okay, who's your witness?
Trudy.
Step up, please.
That's not true, Your Honor. I want my money. I'm
What's
about
your name?
my money.
Trudy.
How do you know the defendant?
Friends.
How long have you been friends with her?
We've known each other for about 8 years.
What were you a witness to?
They were discussing the loan, and
When was
she
this?
was saying, like last month, and he was saying how he wants the money, and she said she's not going to pay the money. And
Thank you.
And then
February of 2013.
she's not going to pay the money, and then you said, whatever then.
Why did you tell
contract?
him?
I was going to take her to court. I already knew that.
Why did you tell him you were not going to pay the money back? What
Because
was
I
your
don't
reason?
get enough in child support.
Hold on a second.
That
I want to
sounds
hear.
crazy.
I'd like to hear her response to this.
Because she don't get enough for child support is her response.
Yeah, 437 is not enough. I
Okay,
mean, I
so
have 2
if you don't
kids.
get enough for child support, you have an option. You already have a court order, so that means you went to court before. If you don't feel that you get enough for child support, then you go back to court and you ask the court to increase the child support. But you don't take it upon yourself to become a court and decide that I'm going to take this $2,000 and use it for child support because I feel you owe me that money. That's not how it works. You have a binding agreement that you sign to pay back $2,000. If you want an additional child support, you go to court and you ask them to do that. You understand?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Honor.
What else do you have to say, Trudy?
He said, just forget about it.
I didn't say
Did you say that?
No, why would I say that? That's $2,500. I want my money, you know. But the thing is, okay, since the child support is an issue, I pay almost $700 a month child support for back pay because she's been on public aid since 18 before she even had children. I
That
owe
is
money
not correct.
for her being on assistance since she was 18 years old. She got pregnant about 18, 19. So I owe all this money while I was
not
even in the
pregnant at
household
18 and
taking
19. I was
care of my
pregnant at 20
children
and
at the same
21.
time. This consecutively going on, I always been taking care of my children. I supposed to do, that's no problem. You know, she's saying she wants more child support. I want more evidence that you take care of the children with the money. I mean, you know, your nails are done. Let's show you your nails.
All right. Thank you, Trudy. Have a seat. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Barlow, so in this case, it is clear and obvious that we have a contract between 2 people. You agreed to pay back $2,000, and if you didn't pay it back by March 1st of this year, you agreed to pay an additional $500. Your defense to that is that he forgave the loan. Well, when it comes to written contracts, the only way that you can amend a written contract is by another written contract. An oral agreement cannot do that. I don't believe you in the first place, but in the second place, you can't amend a written agreement contract with an oral agreement. It has to be written.
Okay.
So
well, she was my witness. She was there, so.
She's irrelevant.
I understand that, but the law is what the law is.
Yeah.
And so you owe him the $2,500. As for you, Mr. Benford, I do want to just speak on the fact that you are in your children's lives. That's what you should be doing. But I see a lot of deadbeat dads come through this court, people who take care of their kids and send money to their kids, but they're kicking and screaming the entire way. It's not what they want to do. But you recognize that it is important for you to be a father figure in your sons' lives and to be role models for them. I think you are doing that, and I want to commend you on that.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work. And you are lucky. You're lucky that he's the father of your kids. Judgment for the plaintiff, $2,500.
Go ahead and wait here a minute. Thank you, sir.
Plaintiff Douglas Bradford says the defendant owes him for the cost to repair his building when a car belonging to her was involved in a hit and split. Defendant Stephanie Hamilton admits it was her car, but says she was out of town when the accident happened, so she doesn't owe the plaintiff anything. She's countersuing for defamation of character.
Okay, Mr. Douglas Bradford, you are suing the defendant Stephanie Hamilton for damages to your building as a result from a hit-and-run car accident.
That is correct.
And Ms. Hamilton, you are countersuing for defamation of character, and you also say you don't owe because you were not the driver of the car involved in the accident. Okay, Mr. Bradford, we'll start with you. So what happened here? Did you witness the accident?
No, I did not. On Sunday, the day of the accident, I was informed that a vehicle did hit my building. I could not get a police report until Tuesday when I went down to the Toledo Police and I picked up the report from the Toledo Police.
What were you told about the accident? What happened?
After reading the police report, it was pretty obvious that the vehicle that she owned lost control on LaGrange Street, hit a parked car, did $10,000 damage to the parked car, climbed up over the curb, went 15 feet across the sidewalk, and hit my building, scraped the entire front of the building, and then proceeded to leave the scene.
How do you know there was $10,000 worth of damage to a car?
Because the car was owned by a neighbor of mine, and I spoke with him, and he actually filled out a police report himself.
Okay, did anyone witness the accident?
Well, he heard the accident, and he ran out right when it occurred, and he is the one who followed the car over to where she lives, and he is the one who also called the Toledo Police to come and get the car. By the time they arrived, there was no one in the car. He told me it smelled absolutely of a brewery. There was vomit all over the place. It was obvious that whoever was driving the car.
I'm sorry, when you say it smelled like a brewery, what are you referring to when you say it?
The car itself. He went down and he followed the trail of radiator fluid, parts of the car. It lost the front right tire.
He followed the car to the defendant's home.
Yes, which was only a couple of blocks
and
anyway.
He got out of his car, and did he observe who was in the vehicle?
No, because they had already vacated the car. He did flag down the police.
Do you know who was driving the car? Because Ms. Hamilton is saying today she's not responsible because she wasn't the driver of the car. I wasn't even in the car. Ms. Hamilton,
when I talked to the detective down at the traffic bureau, he told me the only recourse I had, because they did not know who the driver was to sue the owner of the car.
Coming up, their case gets even more complicated when the mystery driver is revealed in court.
He never woke you up that morning and told you he'd been in an accident?
No.
And you didn't find that to be strange, that he wrecked your car and didn't even tell you about it?
Plaintiff Douglas Bradford says the defendant owes him for the cost to repair his building. Defendant Stephanie Hamilton says she was out of town when the accident happened, so she doesn't owe the plaintiff anything. She's countersuing for defamation of character.
When was the first time you learned that your car had been in an accident?
About 7 o'clock in the morning.
On Sunday morning?
Yes, my neighbor come. I just come from out of town. My neighbor come bamming at my back door. She said, they're towing your car.
So at that point, you had no idea that your car had been damaged in an accident?
No.
So it was stolen?
Excuse me, sir.
Who was driving the car?
Excuse me, I asked the questions in my courtroom, not you. Go ahead.
Oh, and so then she said, well, I said, I just came from out of town. And she was like, well, just to let you know, this car was, involved in a hit and skip. I said, okay. She said, well, I had to have them to tow it, but whoever was driving this car needs to come downtown to talk to us before we can release the car. And I said, okay.
And where was your son at that time?
My son was over his girlfriend's house.
Because I read your complaint, your answer, and you said that it was your son driving the car.
Right.
So
right. He never once tried to run or did whatever, and the
he
station...
never woke you up that morning and told you he'd been in an accident?
No.
And you didn't find that to be
No.
strange, that he wrecked your car and didn't even tell you about it?
No, because when he had came, I guess
You weren't upset about that?
He was scared. Of course I was upset about it. I mean, that's my name on the car. That, you know, so when he did finally go, he went that Monday because the place he had to go to was closed. So he turned himself in that Monday. He went down there. He talked to the detective, gave the detective all the information, and no, he wasn't running. So they had the information. They had the report. They had all of that down there.
What did he tell you about the accident? How did it happen?
My son works 2 jobs. He has
How old is
custody
he?
of his son. He's 29.
Okay.
He has custody of his 2 sons. So he was getting off work. He was in a previous accident like a week or 2 before, and he was on prescription drugs. So he had took drugs.
What kind of accident was he in 2 weeks before?
He was in a bad car accident. Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying because most people aren't in, you know, I drive, I've been driving for years and I've never had an accident. Your son had 2 significant accidents in 2 weeks.
He wasn't the driver.
Okay, he was
in
a passenger
the car
in the other car?
Right. And so they gave him some prescription drugs at the hospital to take.
And what happened?
So he took it right before he was getting ready to get off work, in which he shouldn't have, but he did. And, you know, he worked 6 days a week, working 2 jobs. So he fell asleep at the wheel and he hit the car.
Why didn't he stay at the scene? Why did he leave and
I guess
drive
he
back
was
to your
scared.
house?
I don't know.
And
So
was he
had
given a
to
ticket
wait.
for leaving the scene of an accident?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And he took on the responsibility.
Is your car insured?
Yes.
Okay, Mr. Bradford, do you have photos of damages?
Yes, I do.
May I see it, please?
And I have photos.
What were
also.
the damages to the building?
The
You can
damages
just describe
to the
them for me.
building were the foundation blocks were broken. And
One
you can
block.
see
Let's
in
look at this
that-
on the flat
You can
screen.
see, yes, that block is broken. It's a foundation block. It has to be removed and replaced.
And you're being dramatic.
Miss Hamilton.
He's not giving
Miss
nobody
Hamilton,
time to do
have
anything.
a seat. Have a seat, ma'am. Have a seat, because you won't stop talking. Now, I've asked you several times to stop interrupting. Do you have insurance on your building that will cover any of the expenses for?
No.
Okay, so here is what has to happen. Are you ready to behave yourself and stop interrupting me? Or do you
Sure.
want to keep sitting down? You can stay seated if you.
I can come back up.
Okay, well, come back up.
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. Now, Judge Faith rules.
So here's the issue in this case. You filed your lawsuit a little too prematurely because she's not the right person to sue in Ohio under your state's law. Just because someone is the owner of a vehicle, that does not mean that they are liable if someone else uses it negligently. And based on the testimony that I've heard, it sounds like your son was negligent when he crashed the car, and then he also left the scene of an accident, which is not good.
Right.
Just because she is the parent, that does not impute liability to her automatically. So in order for you to recover in this case, first, now that you know her son's name and you know her insurance company, you can follow up with her insurance company, sue the insurance company, and see if you can get coverage for the damages to your building that way. If that doesn't happen and you have out-of-pocket expenses, then you have to go back to small claims court. But you have to sue the right person, and Ms. Hamilton is not the right person because she was not driving the car that night. Do you understand? What is your counterclaim about?
My counterclaim is because he drugged my name through the courts. He drugged my name through the courts.
Okay, filing a lawsuit is not defamation. Is that what your counterclaim is about?
He did not even give no time for anything.
On your counterclaim, 0, that's not defamation of character. On your claim, sir, although I do believe that the defendant's son is liable for this accident, you didn't sue the right person. So your case is dismissed. My judgment is for the defendant.
Accusations and denial of fraud abound.
She was telling me that the transmission was going out, the fuel pump was going out, and she wanted her money back. But I told her, you you bought the car as is.
Carfax report said that it had 215,321 miles.
And how much did he advertise it for?
Not only did he advertise it, the odometer clearly says 158,000 miles.
There are people who hustle, and then there are people who are hustlers.
Plaintiff Kiana Guy is accusing her former friend of odometer fraud and is suing for a refund on a truck she bought from him. She is accompanied in court by her friend Dan Bryant. Defendant Travis Reineck denies committing fraud and is countersuing for defamation of character.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this case is Guy versus Reineck.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, Miss Kiana Guy,
yes.
You are suing the defendant Travis Reineck for $6,000 for the cost of a truck you say you purchased from him?
I am.
And sir, you have a countersuit for $1,000 for defamation of character?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Miss Guy.
All right, well, the defendant and I first met in high school. We weren't the best of friends, but we lived in the same area. A couple years later, we ended up being Facebook friends. I noticed that Travis was selling cars online, and I needed one. So I contacted Travis to see if he had any trucks that he could sell me specifically. He noted that he had 2 trucks that we could set up a time for me to come take a look at. Beginning of April, we met up. He showed me the trucks. I decided I was gonna purchase a 2001 Denali that he had.
Now, does he have a dealership, or did you just meet him somewhere and he drove the truck to you?
I met him at his apartment. So we met up. I took the car for a test drive. I looked at the odometer, made sure everything was, you know, in good working condition.
Did you take it to a mechanic?
I did not.
Okay.
So I ended up giving him $4,200 that day. He wanted $6,000 for the truck. I felt like that was a good deal since the odometer read 158,000 miles. So I'm like, okay, $6,000 for a car with this, you know, low amount of miles would be, you know, that's a good deal, is what I'm thinking. Not that I know much about cars. So he goes ahead up and types the agreement.
May I see that?
Yes, you may.
So the two of you signed an agreement. You purchased the vehicle.
Agreement stating that I would give him $4,200 on that day, and that I would pay $300 every 15th of the month until it was paid off.
Okay, so that's in April.
That was in April.
2014.
Yes.
Okay, so when is the first time you realize that there is an issue with the odometer?
So, okay, like I said, we're friends on Facebook. There's a mutual friend of ours that was like bashing him. Like, if you ever bought a car from Mr. Reineck, that you should probably get a Carfax report because they're setting the odometers back so that they can sell them for more.
When did you see that?
This was the beginning of June.
So it had been a couple of months.
Yeah, it had been a couple months. I had made 2 payments already.
So let me ask you, do you sell cars for a living?
Well, really, I have a friend that owns a car lot. I, you know, help him find people, you know, and she wanted a vehicle. I just played the middleman and
So you're like the middleman broker?
Kinda, yep.
So your friend has a dealership.
Yep.
You post ads on Facebook or Craigslist to sell the cars?
I post them on Facebook or Craigslist.
So who gets the money? Like, what's your cut in the deal?
It's usually about 10%.
10%? All right. So when she contacts you and tells you that there's a problem with the odometer and that she's heard this rumor, what happened?
When she contacted me about that, she didn't say that there was a post on Facebook. She told me that she got a Carfax. I told her, if you got a Carfax, bring it to me, let me see it.
Which I have.
she never did.
You said you showed him the Carfax report?
I absolutely did.
When?
This was about 2 days after I told him. So the 7th is when I got the report, the 9th is when I told him about it.
What did the Carfax report say about the car?
Carfax report said that it had 215,321 miles.
And how much did he advertise it for,
Not only did he advertise it, the odometer clearly says 158,000 miles.
Okay, can I see the Carfax report?
Sure.
Have you seen the Carfax report?
No.
You've never seen it to this day. That's your testimony?
Report.
Okay, why don't you take a look at it?
And that vehicle was bought from a personal buy. I don't know, we don't know if the person that we got it from did something with the odometer, if the odometer went out. I mean, it's an old vehicle, you know.
But they made you aware of this issue, right?
No.
So you're saying
No,
today?
she did. She told me about that she got a Carfax, but she never showed it to me. Early July is the next time I really heard from her. She was telling me that the transmission was going out, the fuel pump was going out, and she wanted her money back. But I told her, you know, you bought the car as is. In the contract, it says as is.
Well, that's not the problem, though, is, yes, people buy cars as is, but the exception to that rule is fraud. If someone commits car fraud and induces someone to pay a higher price for a car because, for example, they say the mileage is lower than what it really is, that's fraud and misrepresentation.
Exactly.
So let me just look at this.
We didn't have nothing to do with that.
I also have Facebook messages with him. He never denied that the mileage was fraudulent. When we talked, it was like, okay, I won't leave you hanging. I understand what's going on. I understand your problem, and we're gonna get this worked out.
So why did you say that to her in the messages? That you wanted to work it out with her?
Because we were good, decent friends. We knew each other and all that. So I told her to bring me the Carfax to show me what you're talking about because I had no clue of it. So in early July, she called me back complaining about some other stuff going on with the truck. And I told her, if you want your money back, I could sell the vehicle or try to sell the vehicle for you and recoup you some of your money.
Coming up on Judge Faith, odometer lessons learned.
When I see odometer, there is a number there, 162,000 miles.
Right. And right under where it says 162, it says AMU, actual miles unknown.
Plaintiff Kiana Guy is suing for a refund on a truck. Defendant Travis Ryneck says sorry, he sold the truck as is.
He ends up getting the vehicle back, but you two have very different stories as to how he got it back.
Exactly.
And who's your witness, by the way?
This is my boyfriend.
Okay, what do you have to say about this, sir? You want to step up?
Yeah.
How did the defendant end up getting this car back into his possession?
Okay, so Travis told me, like, if you bring I told him, I'll get the fuel pump fixed since that's something that, you don't have anything to do with. I'll get it fixed, bring the truck to you, and you can give me my money. So this day that I bring the truck is supposed to be the day that he's giving me the money and I'm giving him the keys, the title, and the truck.
That never happened.
When I get there...
Were you there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
When I get there, he tells me, oh, I don't have the money right now. I want to try to sell it or one of my other cars on Craigslist so that I can pay you. I'm like, no way. I left the truck in the same parking lot that I bought it from. But I told him I'm not leaving the keys and I'm not leaving the title until you give me the money.
She gave me
when
the keys
you give me
and
the
the
money,
title.
I will release to you the title
She
signed.
signed over the title.
Signed
and
over
everything.
to you. I never signed the title. So if you can show
She
that
signed
and
over
show
the
me the
title and
false
everything.
signature that you put on there,
Yes.
I'll be glad for you to present that in court.
Do you
I
have
never
the title
signed
with you?
the title.
No, the title was in the truck when it was wrecked.
Okay, we'll get to that in a second.
I have a police report
I want
that
to
says
understand. So you
it's
left
not
the
there.
car in the lot where you bought it from,
Yes.
and that is your friend's car lot, right?
No, that's his house.
No,
My
his
house,
parking
yeah.
lot at his house.
These cars are at his house, so I don't know where the friend comes in at.
I thought that there was a car lot.
There is
People sold cars.
No.
So you don't know
There is.
about another friend at all?
All I know is this other guy is whose name that Travis forged on my title.
So when you bought the car, you went to his house.
Yes.
And he has other cars at his
Yes,
house.
he did. At the time, he
No.
had about 5 or 6 other cars that he was selling as well.
I had one vehicle that was mine that I was selling. The truck that she bought, I went and picked up from the lot and brought it to the house.
Okay, so he had a number of cars
He had
at
about
his
5
house.
or 6 cars for sale in that lot.
But my question is, how did he end up getting the car
Apparently,
back?
he had
She
another
dropped
set of
it off
keys.
to
I
me.
still have my
She
set of
dropped
keys.
it off to me, gave me the keys, gave me the title. The fuel pump still was not working. She tried to start it when they got there. It would not start. I had a mechanic come and fix the fuel pump for $280 out of my pocket so I could try to resell the
And
vehicle.
how much had you paid at the time when you left the truck at his house?
$4,800.
And what was your
$4,500.
purpose of leaving the truck at his house on
Because
that day?
I had got a ride there. When I got the ride, it was me and him. That was the specific reason for me to come and drop the truck off. But when he didn't have the money, it's like I couldn't drive it back because, like he said, it wouldn't start.
Do you have anything to add to this?
Yeah, a lot. Travis is a shady guy, shady car salesman.
He has nothing.
He never
He-
gave her
he'd had
any
nothing
receipts
to do with it.
anytime that she paid. Where's the receipts? If you're a businessman, you're supposed to have the receipts.
He kept sending me off. Every time the 2 times that I made the $300 payments, he's like, because we'll meet up somewhere publicly, like Walgreens, Cub Foods, or something like that. And he's like, well, I don't have my receipt booklet
even
with
though
me.
you say there's someone else, this third person who has this car lot and these
Imaginary.
cars, She's making all of these payments directly to you every time she's supposed to pay?
Yep.
And she bought the car from your house?
Yeah.
Okay. How did you end up, you wrote about having a car accident in the truck. How did that happen?
He stole the car from my house, is what he
happened? How did the car get back to your house?
Because I came and got it. Once I kept trying, I left it there, like I said. Once I kept trying to get in contact with him and I was not successful, I came and got the car back. Yes, I did. I had my guy come and tow the car back to my residence.
How did you end up getting the car in an accident?
The day of the accident, someone had contacted me from Craigslist, said that they wanted to look at the vehicle. I had a friend of mine drive the car to Uptown to meet the person that wanted to buy it. They ended up not buying it.
I'm sorry, let's back up a second. You posted another ad on Craigslist
I
to
posted
sell the
an ad
car.
on Craigslist the day after they brought it to
Do you
me.
have a copy of that ad with you?
Yeah,
I
she
do.
did.
Let me see it, please.
There you are. And I also have a text message from him of him asking me for pictures of the car so that he could put it on Craigslist. I'm thinking so he can
did
try
you
to
run
fix
a
it.
Carfax report before you posted this
There was
ad?
never, no, she said she
No,
had
I'm
a
asking
car.
you, did you
No, I
run
didn't.
one? Okay, so after you were told by the plaintiffs that the actual mileage on the car was 215,000 miles.
Right.
You didn't care to check
He put it back
and
on
see
Craigslist.
what the real mileage was
I
before
didn't.
you
All I
posted it for
did
sale
was,
again?
all I did was put on there that actual miles are unknown.
No, that's not what you have on here, sir.
Exactly.
You
It
have
says
the
AMU.
miles as odometer 162,000 miles.
Right under,
And this
right
is after
under
he
it
saw the
says
report.
AMU.
I am telling you what I'm reading in your ad for the car, and it says odometer. Do we have the ad? Let's pull it up, please. This ad is dated July 24th, 2014.
And right under where it says 162, it says AMU, actual miles unknown.
But you have in the odometer, see, if you don't know it, who knows what AMU means?
Nobody.
People
It's on
don't
a
know
lot
what
of-
that
it's
means.
on
I
a lot- it's
wouldn't
on
know
a
what
lot
that
of-
meant. When I see
But when they
odometer,
call-
I
when they
see
call
a
and
number.
ask about
No,
it.
let me finish. When I see odometer, there is a number there, 162,000 miles.
Right.
You understand?
Okay.
So you didn't bother after they told you that they have a Carfax report that says the car has 215,000 miles on it. In actuality, you're going to resell the car. One of two things is happening here. Either you know what the real mileage is on the car and you were involved from the very beginning in the miles not being accurate on the ad that you put on Craigslist, or you just don't care.
Next on Judge Faith, the truck takes a dip in a pond.
How'd you get in the pond?
I don't know. I woke up in the pond.
You don't know.
Of course he doesn't
Where
know
was
because
the
he was
truck?
driving under the influence.
In the pond.
The truck was in the pond.
Yes,
Where was your
I
friend?
climbed out the, he dipped.
Dipped in the pond?
No, he left me.
Plaintiff Kiana Guy is suing for a refund on a truck. Defendant Travis Rydnick says sorry, he sold the truck as is.
Tell me how the
fuel
truck got
pump.
into the pond.
He was drunk.
After we brought the truck to the person that wanted to buy it, he
Who's
said,
we?
A friend of mine drove it for me.
Okay, why aren't you driving?
I didn't have a license at that time.
Okay.
Travis was driving
I
the car.
had-
He actually
I
got
was
arrested
not
in the car.
driving.
How
I
did you
have
get in the
proof
pond?
of
What
that.
happened?
I was not driving. We met like around 8:30 p.m. in Uptown area. The guy, checked it out for about 30 minutes. He said, he didn't bring the money on him. He wanted to come get it on Friday. Me and my friend ended up staying in the Uptown area. All the clubs and bars stayed open till 4 a.m. He ended up leaving with his girlfriend, and I stayed with my friends, and someone that said they stayed in my area where I lived offered to drive my vehicle, or I asked him if he'll drive my vehicle.
My truck.
My vehicle to my house, and then he would take a cab from there.
Were you drinking that night?
Yes,
How much did you have to drink?
a few drinks,
What's a few?
3.
How'd you
One-
get in the pond?
I don't know. I woke up in the pond.
You don't know.
Of course he doesn't
Where
know
was
because
the
he was
truck?
driving under the influence.
In the pond.
The truck was in the pond.
Yes,
Where was your
I
friend?
climbed out he dipped.
Oh, gosh.
Dipped in the pond?
No, he left me. When I woke up, I was in the pond by myself. I climbed out the window, swam through the pond.
They had to rescue him out of the
Got-
pond because
No,
he
they
was
didn't.
drunk.
Let me see the photo
No,
of
they
the
didn't.
truck in the pond.
Yep. No, they didn't. There
And you're
was
saying that this friend when the police got there, was magically just gone?
He was gone, yes.
What's his name? Last name?
I don't know.
What happened to him?
Full of lies.
I don't know.
Full of it.
You've never spoken to again from
Not
that
after.
moment to this day?
I have not seen him. I never like had his number or anything like that.
He does not
I've
exist.
seen him around.
You,
I don't know
so
him,
you
like-
told the police that you weren't driving, your friend was driving.
Right.
And they didn't believe you, right?
They
I have the
didn't, they
police
didn't arrest
report.
me. They didn't charge me with DWI. None of that. They brought me to the hospital and released me.
Sir,
They're
I
absolutely
have a
charging him with
paperwork from the,
DWI.
let me see the police report, please.
Let me see.
Because what happens is when you
Oh, yeah,
know
there it
that
is.
this
There's
is.
the police report, and this is also the property receipt showing that he was
Amazing.
arrested, and they had to rescue him out of the pond.
They did not rescue me.
They
out of the
rescued
pond.
him, and they had to pull the car out with this huge crane, which they're trying to charge me for because it was my car. They also wanted to seize the car because this is his third DUI, and since he lied to them and
You
told
have
them that the
prior
car
DUIs?
was his,
I do.
Okay, how many?
2.
3.
So it makes sense now because
Took me
I
to
always
the
find it
hospital.
incredibly
Oh, my
convenient when people who know that they've been drinking, right? You can't deny that you were drunk that night.
Right.
But you can deny that you were driving because no one else is there to put you behind the wheel because you're already outside of the car. In every one of those cases, I'm telling you right now, the excuse always is, I wasn't driving. It wasn't me. And there is a
wasn't.
mysterious, fictitious
wasn't
person
driving.
out there who magically disappears right out there from the scene, and no one can give an accounting as to that person being in the car.
I have
Yeah.
nothing to do with that.
How did you find out that the car had been in an accident, that the defendant
the
had an
police
accident
called
in
me
the car?
because first of all, I reported the car stolen. So about 4 days later, the patrol calls me and they told me, we found your truck. Unfortunately, it was submerged in a pond, and that they pulled a guy out, took him to the hospital, and arrested him for DWI. And they also told me that they had to save him because he was also in the pond.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Okay, I've had an opportunity now to review a document from the Minnesota State Patrol Department of Public Safety. You testified, sir, and you told me that you were not arrested, you were not charged with anything, there was no DUI related to that incident. And on the date of this accident, you actually came back into the patrol office with a friend of yours to try to pick up the vehicle because they seized it for forfeiture for the, and I'm quoting, first-degree DWI event cited above.
Exactly.
They said they did not ask you any questions regarding the criminal case as you already had been read your Miranda and declined to speak to law enforcement. You're the person, you sold them a car, but you're not really the seller. You're not really the person who has the lot, right? You don't drive the car. You were in an accident, but I wasn't really the driver. My friend was driving, and yet no one knows who this friend is. The odometer on the car is clearly wrong, but I didn't do it. Someone else must have done it before I got the car. There are people who hustle, and then there are people who are hustlers. You are a hustler. You understand? Yes, you are.
Not at all.
What's your counterclaim about?
She was telling people that I was, rigging vehicles and all that stuff. That's not true. I did not do that. So.
Right. Ridiculous.
Never did
You
that.
sound ridiculous.
I never did that.
Your counterclaim is dismissed, by the way. What's the total price you paid for the car?
I paid $4,800 for the car.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $4,800. Give her money back.
There is nothing simple in this fender bender.
I heard the loudest crash, and my whole rear end was smashed. The trunk was up in the air.
But did the plaintiff damage her own car?
I got the hammer from up under the seat and tried to break the window.
The hammer out of her vehicle.
And the confusion grows
He said he was the owner of the car.
as Judge Faith makes sense of this mess.
It makes no sense at all for you to go to the driver who hit this car and damaged it and say,
Right.
you don't owe me any more money, we're done.
And then this chiropractor comes to the judge for an adjustment.
He approached her and said, hey, are you going to pay the bill? He's looking to get his bill paid. She said, no, I'm not going to pay the bill. I've already taken the money that I received from the insurance company and I went and bought a car. So no, I'm not going to pay the bill.
He violated my privacy when he started talking to this man about my medical bills and everything else.
If you're so concerned about it, you report it to the government.
Plaintiff Deborah Miller is suing her neighbor for damages to a car registered in her name. She is accompanied by her witness, Ronald Williams. Defendant LaTanya Gordon says she wasn't driving the car, and the plaintiff is suing the wrong person.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding.
Your Honor, we have Miller versus Gordon.
Thank you, Barbara. Deborah Miller, you are suing the defendant, LaTanya Gordon, for $3,000 for car damage reimbursement.
That's correct.
And I understand you have a witness with you today, Mr. Ronald Williams.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, tell me about your case, Ms. Miller.
What happened is that on October 31st of 2012, I helped Mr. Williams to get a car in my name since I was able to do it. He was in and out of town. He needed a car for work, and he was kind of like in between jobs.
And what's your relationship with him?
We were dating.
Okay, you aren't anymore?
We were dating. He's my ex now. But anyway, but we're still good friends.
Okay.
We're still friends. And on June the 11th, I got a call from him saying that someone had hit the car.
Wait,
So,
Your Honor, can I
Well,
intervene?
were you there when your car was hit?
no, I wasn't there. I just got a call from Mr. Williams saying that the car had
you
been
were
hit.
there and you witnessed this incident.
Yes, I was,
Okay,
ma'am.
tell me what happened.
On the day in question, I was looking out of my window, and I heard the loudest crash. And I looked out the window, and I saw the defendant and a family member exiting her vehicle, and my whole rear end was smashed. The trunk was up in the air, and the family member had his hands on his head saying, "Oh, my God." And she said, well, "Look what you did. What was you thinking?"
Was she in the car when you saw the accident?
She was getting out of the car on the passenger side. She wasn't driving. I said, "Man, look what you did to my car. What are you gonna do?" So I commenced to call the police to make a police report. This is the only way I have transportation I have.
What kind of car is it?
It was a 95 Cadillac Sedan DeVille, like brand new. I have pictures to prove it.
Okay, and what happened?
How you doing, Miss Faith?
Good.
Okay, on the night of the accident, I wasn't in the car. I was sitting on the porch when what had happened, my family member asked me for a jump. He gave his own self a jump because his car had went dead. He was in the park the whole time. In some type of way, he said he had the car in drive, and he put his feet on the accelerator, went into his car.
Okay.
That's when he came out. I was on the porch the whole time. I wasn't in the car at the time.
Do you have photos of the car and the
Yes, I do,
damages?
Your Honor.
May I see them? So you call the police. Do we have these on the flat screen? Oh, wow. That's a lot of damage. When did you come onto the scene? So I understand that the car wasn't in your name.
Not at the time, Your Honor.
No, it was in my name.
It was in your name, Ms.
Yes.
Miller. So what happens? He contacts you, and
He
what
called
happens?
me that night to tell me that the car was in the accident. I said, "Don't play with me."
I'm on the phone.
You know, because I mean, the car's in my name. I don't want to be sued. So I said, "Well, do you need me to come?" He said, "No, you don't have to come. I got this." I said, "No, if it's in my name, I need to be there."
So what happened when you get? What
When I
happened?
got
What did you
there,
observe?
it was a young family member came up to Ronald and said that he was sorry for the accident and he would try to do what he could to correct it. So I asked the police for the report. The police gave me the report, and I said, "Well, who is the owner of the car? That's who I need to see is the owner of the car, and do they have insurance? Because Ronald had insurance on his car, but it was only liability."
What happens
so,
next?
the police gave me the report. So when I looked on the report, I said, "Well, I see Ronald's insurance, but where's the young lady that owns the car? Where's her insurance?" And he said, "It's right there." I said, "Well, there's no number or anything." And the next day, I called the insurance company. They had no knowledge of her, no record or anything of having insurance with the company.
So were you insured on the date of this
Yeah,
accident?
Your Honor, when the accident occurred, I just had got my car 3 days ago. I had to get insurance to leave off the lot with it.
Mhm.
I had temporary insurance.
Okay, so do you have proof that you had temporary insurance on the date of this accident?
Now, no, I doesn't.
Okay.
But in the police report, when the police came, I showed them what I had, my insurance. I showed them what I had. He said he was the owner of the car. I ain't know nothing about her.
Your Honor, if I may speak, I called her the next day, which was June the 12th, and I said, "Miss Gordon, I just called the insurance company." And when I called them, they said they had no knowledge of you. They even asked me for her address. I gave them the address. She said, "Well, hold on. I'm getting ready to get on the phone with them right now. I'll get back to you." She never got back to me.
Okay, so why didn't you get back to her when she tells you that you say you have insurance, it's
Right.
temporary, she tells you they're saying you're not covered, did you contact your insurance company?
Yes, I contact my insurance. They said they ain't never speak to no one about the car accident.
Well, I don't think she would. I mean, she wants to get the damage covered on her car, so I don't think she's lying saying that the insurance company said that they don't have any record of you. There's something going on.
Temporary insurance, Judge Faith.
Okay, but once you find out that a lawsuit is being filed against you, did you not contact your insurance company and say, I need your help to cover damage?
Yes, I did.
And what happened?
And they had sent me a piece of paper to restate my insurance, the full coverage, because it was temporary insurance at the time.
And it had expired?
Yeah, it had expired.
Okay, so you did not have insurance the date of this accident? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And what about the driver of the car? Where is he today?
He's not here.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the plot thickens as the damage increases.
You tried to break the windows in your own car?
I tried to break the window, and if I had a chance, if the tow truck had came, I would go ahead them to tow it away and tell them to give me $300. Yes, I did.
And later,
He found out I was in a car accident, so he started coming over saying, hey, you should see my friend, he's a chiropractor.
Did she make any payments to you at all for the services she was receiving, for the treatment?
No.
plaintiff Deborah Miller and her witness Ronald Williams are suing for damages to a car. Defendant LaTanya Gordon says she wasn't driving the car.
Is there any particular reason why you only sued the defendant and not the driver of the car?
Well, I sued her because the last conversation we had, she said, well, you could go ahead and sue me. And I said, okay, that's what I'll do.
Mr. Williams, you reached out to the defendant's family member.
Yes, I did.
And at some point, you say he agreed to pay for damages.
Yes, I have a
Tell me about
agreement.
that.
Did he sign this? He was willing to pay me in between $3,000 and $4,000 for the damage of my vehicle. He paid me a total of $600. And then this person,
I beg your pardon?
Well, Miss Miller got upset at me about something she had nothing totally to do with.
I got upset, Your Honor, because of the fact that I had got a red light ticket on the car, I had got another ticket on the car, and all of this is coming in my name.
But I paid.
And I had told Ronald from day one, I said, Ronald, you have to get the car in your name.
What I got to do?
But after that accident, that really ticked me off. And then when I found out that he had made an agreement about the car,
He made an agreement with the defendant's family member?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I
You
did.
found out about it, and what happened?
I found out about it, and then I found out he had actually got some money. I was infuriated. I was infuriated because the fact the car was in my name.
Okay, the family member gives him $600.
Right.
Why are you upset about that?
Because he didn't tell me.
It was none of your business.
It was my business. The car was in my name. But because he knew I was in the process of talking to Miss Gordon to try to, get the money from her as far as legally through her insurance.
So what did you do when you found out that someone was giving him money? What did you do?
What I did, I was so infuriated and mad. I called the young man and told him he didn't have to pay Ronald anything else. By me being the owner and Miss Gordon was the owner, I felt that's the route we should have taken.
Okay, so let me make sure I understand this. The date of the accident.
It was in my name.
It was in your name.
Yes, ma'am.
But the insurance was in your name. And then you go to the defendant's relative who was driving the car.
Right.
And you tell that person they don't have to pay you any more money for damages?
She showed him this.
Yes.
Let me see that, Barbara. Now, because you want to get the damages paid for your car, so why would you have the driver actually sign a document saying that he doesn't have to pay you anything
Because
else?
I felt that I needed to go legally, that I had to go to the owner of the car and not through the person that actually hit the car.
Okay, so if you want to do that, but why would you have them sign a document?
Because I was angry at the time.
Angry about what?
I was angry.
What were you angry about? What made you go?
There was some personal stuff that was going on. We was in the midst of breaking up. There was a lot of problems that was going on. And I told him to give me the keys to the car.
Okay.
He wouldn't give me the keys to the car. So
Okay, because now you're making sense, because it makes no sense at all for you to go to the driver who hit this car and damaged it and say,
Right.
you don't owe me any more money, we're done.
Right.
Well, Your Honor, tell her about what you did, about the hammer.
Oh. I was so angry. I wanted to get the keys to stop in order for him to get the car into his name. And so I said, well, Ronald, give me the keys or you get the car changed in your name.
What did you do?
So he came to the car and said, what do you want? I said, I want the keys. He said, that's not going to happen. And he got in the car and proceeded to drive off, and I got the hammer from up under the seat and tried to break the window.
The hammer out of her vehicle.
I said I might.
More like a mallet, you know?
It was a hammer.
And you tried to break the windows in your own car?
I tried to break the window, and if I had a chance, if the tow truck had came, I would go ahead them to tow it away and tell them to give me $300. Yes, I did.
How long had you guys been in a relationship?
We have been in a relationship maybe 2.5 years. I've known her 32 years. We go to
Okay.
the same church lady.
Okay.
Yeah. Church man.
Okay. And what's going on with the two of you now?
We're just friends.
Do you still love him?
What's love got to do with it?
I'm just asking.
Do you still love me?
Yeah.
He don't love me. I guess I don't love him.
Apparently.
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Okay, he don't love me, so no, I don't love him. But he just saying that, but he didn't say that yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, okay.
What happened yesterday?
Let's be for real or what? Let's be for
Yesterday
real.
was her birthday, Giannis.
Yes.
What I have to do with it, even though it was my car, I don't have anything to do with it. They got some relationship issues going on. You see that now, Judge Faith?
Coming up, Judge Faith rules. And then,
I lied to Jim and said, no, I didn't receive it. They're not paying me for the chiropractor. He calls me and says, hey, leaves a message on my phone saying, hey, we talked to your adjuster and they said they did pay you for the bill.
plaintiff Deborah Miller is suing her neighbor for damages to a car registered in her name. Defendant LaTanya Gordon says she wasn't driving the car.
Have you been driving the car?
I was, yes.
Okay.
With the duct tape on the trunk.
So you brought me an estimate of damages to the car in the amount over $7,000. But when you look at the Blue Book value of the car, ranges from $1,500 to $3,500.
Right, correct.
Okay. My judgment in this case is for the plaintiffs. I'm going to award you the Blue Book value of the car if it were clean, which is $2,062. I'm going to subtract from that amount the $600 the defendant's family member paid to you and award you a judgment in the amount of $1,462 plus your court cost.
Thank
you.
you.
Have a good day.
Plaintiff Dr. Brad Gunderson is suing his former patient for unpaid medical bills. Defendant Jade Haynes says the doctor violated her privacy rights, so she's not paying.
Okay, Dr. Brad Gunderson?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant Jade Haynes for $1,875 for unpaid medical bills?
Yes.
Okay, what's going on here, doctor?
Jade was a patient of mine. She was referred in by a mutual friend of ours into my chiropractic office.
That's not true, Your Honor. He's not a mutual friend.
Okay, well, I'll get to your side in a second, Ms. Haynes. Let me hear from the doctor
Okay,
first.
so a mutual associate of ours.
When was that, doctor?
That was back in November 6th, 2013.
What type of doctor are you?
Chiropractor.
Okay.
She came into the office for a car accident that happened on September 24th of 2013.
So you started treating her as your patient at that time?
Yes.
Okay, and how long was she your patient?
She was my patient until December 18th that same year, so about a month and a half.
So only a month, and you saw her how many times during
About
that
10
month and a half
visits.
period? I'm sorry?
10 visits.
And during those 10 visits, did she make any payments to you at all for the services she was receiving, for the treatment?
No.
And why was that?
The car accident was not her fault, so the third party was going to settle the claim at the end of the case, so we put it on a lien basis. I had referred her over to an attorney. She went over and signed up with this attorney, and that was going to help to settle the case.
What do you mean by lien basis?
That means that she would be able to pay the bill at the end of the case. After a few weeks, she went back to the attorney and fired him, so she no longer used his services. And so now she was on her own to pay the case after the case settled.
Okay, and at some point you find out that she's received some kind of payment, and what happens?
Right. Once we're done with the case, got a hold of the third-party insurance company.
Your Honor, that's not true. He got a hold of his
Okay,
friend.
tell me what happened.
So what happened was I got in a car accident. I was a manager at a yogurt land. There was a guy that owned a He found out I was in a car accident, so he started coming over saying, hey, you should see my friend. He's a chiropractor. Don't go to the one that you're going to if he makes you feel uncomfortable. See this guy.
What's his name?
His name is Jim. I kind of put it off. I was like, no, I don't want to go see him. I'll just continue with mine. One day he just comes in and he's like, I'm going to take you to see this guy. And I was like, no, he's like, no, I'll drive you there so you don't have to drive. I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. I don't know you. You're driving me. I get there, I signed paperwork to start the services with him. All in all, when it came down to it and I owed him money, the guy was approaching me saying, if I don't pay, then he's gonna have to pay, and he can't use his services until I pay.
Well,
That's
hold on a
not
second.
true.
You saw Dr. Gunderson for a month and a half, right?
Correct.
And so you knew that you would have to pay
Correct, and my plan
for
was-
the 10 or so times that you saw
Yes.
him. So my question is, why didn't you pay him?
Because he violated my privacy when he started talking to this man about my medical bills and everything else. The guy kept approaching me saying if I don't pay, I'm gonna be sued in court and they're gonna
Jim,
take a lien out on my house if you don't pay. And I'm like,
That's
what does that
not
have
right.
to do with
No,
you?
no,
I don't even know you.
Who is
No.
Jim? Do you know Jim?
Yeah, Jim owns a from where she was working. He would go in there quite often to get yogurt. They became friends. The reason why he came in there and talked to her is because I wanted to get my bill paid and I didn't want to take her to court. So I said, Jim, do you ever see her? He said, yeah, when I see her, I'll go talk to her. He saw her outside one time. He approached her and said, hey, are you going to pay the bill? He's looking to get his bill paid. She said, no, I'm not going to pay the bill. I've already taken the money that I received from the insurance company and I went and bought a car. So no, I'm not going to pay the bill.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Her insurance company sent her a check.
Yes.
Which she found out from Jim, because Jim approached me the first time after I received it saying, hey, did you receive the settlement?
not
I
true.
lied to Jim and said, no, I didn't receive it. They're not paying me for the chiropractor.
That's
he
not
went
true.
back to the guy, he went back to him. He calls me and says, hey, leaves a message on my phone saying, hey, we talked to your adjuster and they said they did pay you for the bill. After that, I still was avoiding him. Jim started coming to my job asking my employees
So I don't
when
understand
I'm going to be at work.
if you think, even if it's true that Jim was having discussions with the doctor, you still were treated 10 times by
Yeah,
the
but
doctor.
it's violating my privacy.
So then make a report. That's what you do. But you don't not pay someone for services that you've already had. Like, he treated you for a month and a half without getting paid. So you owe him for that medical
But he's
treatment.
not wrong for telling me that.
Report it to HIPAA.
But what about
make
the guy
a
that
claim,
said he
make a report.
co-signed?
What'd you do with the money?
I bought a car because I needed
Okay,
a
so
car.
why don't you just say, I wanted to buy a car
Yeah,
with
I
the
needed
money
to buy
instead
a
of saying
car,
he
and I was gonna
violated
pay
my
him,
rights?
but before I
Because if
even
you were
got the
so
chance-
concerned about it, you report it to the government. Then you report it to HIPAA. The fact that you did none of those things tells me that it either didn't happen or you weren't that concerned about it and you just wanted to keep the money for yourself, which you cannot do.
I wasn't concerned at the point, ma'am. I didn't even know. That's not true. Why would I sit here and lie and say that this guy co-signed? I wouldn't even be here. I would just pay my bill. It could go to collections. But this guy's telling me they're going to put a
So
lien
is
out
that
on
your
his
only
house.
reason, ma'am, for not paying
Yes, that he violated my privacy laws.
$1,875
Correct.
for the medical treatment that the doctor gave you?
That's correct.
Okay, I find that to be insufficient. You pay him for the medical services that he provided to you, $1,875. Pay the doctor.
A gentleman looking for repayment of a very personal loan.
I don't do women's favor unless they do me favor. That's understood with all of my ladies' friends. So they know this up front.
It's just like a marriage. If you're married to someone, the wife, she gives him sex and he pays all the bills. It's no different.
What you're telling me is you were paying the defendant in exchange for sex.
And sometimes you need good fences to have good neighbors.
His dog attacked mine, and ever since then, he's been extremely rude to me. He harasses me, he bullies me when my fiance is not home, when I'm alone.
She's gone and gotten a special needs pit bull since then that's deaf, that she screams at. Of course the dog's gonna go hide.
Are you a bully, sir?
Plaintiff Donnie Hurst is suing his daughter's best friend for repayment of money he gave her. Defendant Brandy Collins admits she received money from the plaintiff, but says he knew she needed the money and it was a gift.
Remain seated and come to order. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Faith Jenkins presiding. Your Honor, this is Hurst versus Collins.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, Mr. Donnie Hurst?
Yes.
You are suing the defendant, Brandy Collins, for $160 for a loan you say she failed to repay you.
That's correct.
And Ms. Collins, you are countersuing for $1,000 for defamation of character?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Why don't we start with you, sir? Tell me what's going on.
Well, Your Honor, back about a year ago, May 2013, I met Brandon through my daughter, who's 25, and they associate with each other real well.
How old are you, Brandy?
I'm 26.
Okay. And how
My
old are you,
daughter's
sir?
25.
Okay.
And
how old are you?
I'm 58.
All right.
And they're real good friends, and my daughter gets pretty much anything she wants from me, and her and Brandon was a real good friend. And that's how I come to meet Brandon. So Brandon, I guess, needed money on several occasions, and her and I became very good friends. And she's a sweet girl, she's a beautiful girl, and I'm an older guy, I'm single, I'm not married, I don't have a girlfriend, I don't date women. What I do is associate with them favors. And if you want me to be specific, I can do that as well.
No, I don't know what you're talking about when you say favors.
Well, we had sexual favors, and it's strictly business, strictly business.
Excuse me, let's get some order, please.
And it was strictly business. So Brandon knows that I do not lend women's money. I don't do women's favor unless they do me favor. That's understood with all of my ladies' friends. So they know this up front. And I have evidence to prove that from the year or so that her and I have been friends.
Okay, so you're saying that the two of you had a sexual relationship.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Well, what is the loan? I don't understand how that relates to $160.
This particular loan, her and I have had a relationship over a year ago. So we've been involved down through the months leading up to this last loan. I've lent her money from time. I never loaned because she always paid in favors. So she gave me, I gave her. I never gave her any money up front. I always, whenever she came to me, she took care of me, I paid her.
Okay, so now that I have a clearer understanding.
Well, I hope you really do have a clear understanding because you seem to be a little.
No, I have a clear understanding, and I'm not a little anything.
Okay.
What you're telling me is you were paying the defendant in exchange for sex.
Exactly.
Okay, so let me tell you something, because
Please
I
do.
understand exactly what's going on. And you're from what state?
State of Georgia, Peach State of Georgia.
Okay, so I don't care what you call it. You can call it favors. You can call it a business transaction, sir.
Your
In
Honor,
that
it
state,
was
excuse
a
me, I'm
business
talking,
transaction.
I'm
It wasn't
speaking.
favor, it was
I am
business.
speaking. You can call it whatever you want to call it. In your state, it is called prostitution.
Well,
and it
then
is
that
illegal.
might be it.
And it
That
is
might be
illegal.
it.
Okay. What's going on, ma'am?
I was stranded in Florida. We have been friends for a while, maybe about 2 years now. I was stranded in Florida. We had prior conversations about the transaction for sexual favors or whatever. We haven't had any sexual relations for about a year and a half now. It's been a while.
That's not true.
So when he asked me, he texted me and asked me, okay, can we hook up? I lost complete contact with him. He'd seen me.
Why would you agree to do something like this in the very beginning? I mean, you're obviously. I'm speaking, sir. Do not speak right now.
I'm a single parent. I'm in college. It's hard. And
I was in college. I was broke. I had no money. I get it. But
we all do different things.
There's not enough money in the universe for this man to be able to pay me to have sex with him. You understand?
Well, I don't know.
That's understood, but that's you and I'm me. We're two totally different people. Things happen in our lives where we do stuff. It's just like a marriage. If you're married to someone, the wife, she gives him sex and he pays all the bills. It's no different.
This is totally different. This is totally different because in your state, it is actually illegal and a crime. And you guys can come in here and try to paint this in a different picture and describe it in whatever way you want to.
I was never on the corner.
This is not painting anything. It is what
yes,
it is.
it is, sir.
Your Honor,
yes,
people come to reason for many different reasons. Right now, you might be lonely, want to be with me, but you ain't warm enough to say it.
Listen, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, sir.
Things.
Let me tell you something. Everyone does things in their private lives. Everyone has skeletons in their closet. But you're bringing this to my courtroom today, and I'm going to address it. If you don't want to hear the truth, then don't come in my courtroom.
The truth doesn't bother me. I don't
have
have a wife. I don't have a girlfriend. I'm not dating anybody. So what is that to make me feel bad about? Nothing.
Because
I do what I do, and they come to me for what they need.
So
I give them what they need. They give me what I need, and we're done. She go her way, I go my way.
And guess what?
We don't come together.
Your case, it is prostitution. If you came into this courtroom and told me that you sold drugs to the defendant, I sold heroin to the defendant, she didn't pay me back. And I'm suing right now because she owes me money for the heroin. Guess what? I'm not going to hear that case because you are bringing an illegal act.
You know why we're here, Your Honor?
Do not
we are
interrupt
here because
me.
she
Do
did
not interrupt me,
pay,
sir.
And we didn't have sex on this.
Sir, and what I'm telling you is you entered into an illegal agreement that no court in America will enforce because it is prostitution. Do you understand? Do you understand me?
Coming up, Judge Faith tells it like it is.
What if you meet someone like him who's willing to pay you and they don't get what they want? They may not end up taking you to court. They may end up taking you to a back alley. What are you going to do then? You have a child you have to think about and consider.
And later, who let the dogs in?
Whose dog bit my dog then?
Bit her dog? We don't know. It happened in a situation.
But it was one of your dogs.
No, you can't say that. Were you there to see it?
Are you saying that perhaps it was her other dog that
It very
bit?
well could have been.
Plaintiff Donnie Hurst is suing his daughter's best friend for repayment of money he gave her. Defendant Brandy Collins admits she received money from the plaintiff, but says he knew she needed the money and it was a gift.
Life is about choices, and everyone makes choices in their lives. There are some things you can't choose. You can't choose when you're born, where you're born, who you are born to, but
Correct.
you can choose how you live.
Correct.
All I'm saying
Which
to
is
you,
why
all
I
I'm saying to you,
didn't
ma'am,
engage.
all I am saying to you, ma'am, is you are young, you're in college. Don't make choices. You're making choices for today. I want you to think about tomorrow, because what if you meet someone like him who's willing to pay you and they don't get what they want? They may not end up taking you to court. They may end up taking you to a back alley. What are you going to do then? You have a child you have to think about and consider, okay? Your counterclaim is dismissed. Your case is dismissed, and if I were you, I would be embarrassed to even bring a lawsuit
Well,
like
Your
this,
Honor,
sir.
I'm not.
Absolutely
No,
embarrassed.
She did not
Dismissed.
perform
Go
what
home.
she agreed to do.
Plaintiff Autumn Newberry is suing her neighbor for vet bills and trauma. Her dog was attacked by his. Defendant Brent Ward says the plaintiff can't prove that it was his dog who did the damage.
Okay, Autumn Newberry, you are suing the defendant, Brent Ward, for $500 for vet bill and psychological damage to your dog. And Mr. Ward, you are countersuing for $1,000 for misuse of the common area, unauthorized use of storage, garbage removal, and lost wages.
Correct.
Why don't you start, Ms. Newberry, and tell me what happened here?
Okay, so basically his dog attacked mine, and ever since then he's been extremely rude to me. He harasses me, he bullies me when my fiance is not home, when I'm alone. He refused to pay the vet bill, and he never apologized, and I care about my dog, so.
Are you a bully, sir?
I'm not a bully.
What kind of place do you live in, and how is he your neighbor?
Well, it's kind of weird. His house can be seen from the street, and then on the side there's a driveway, and then there's a door to a common backyard that we share, and then my house is behind there.
Let's look at the yard. Okay.
Okay, so that white door, that's
On
the
the
only
left?
way to enter into my house, yes, on the
Okay.
left. That sliding glass door is Brent's back sliding glass door, so that yard right there is the shared yard.
You have dogs as well, right?
I do.
How many dogs do you have?
At the time, I had 2. I now have 3.
And how many did you have at that
Two
time?
as well.
Okay, so prior to the dog incident, what was the relationship like between the two of you sharing the yard?
It was fine. I've never had a problem with it.
It didn't exist. Everybody gets along with her fiance, essentially until Autumn gets home. And then he shuts down. She's never come out of her shell. I don't even honestly remember an introduction.
Okay, but you were friendly
true.
with her fiance.
Yeah.
How long did you live in the house before the date of this incident with the dogs?
It was almost 3 months.
So for 3 months, the dogs would see each other and play together and there was no issue?
For 3 months, we both leave our doors open.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of dogs do you have?
I have a dachshund and a boxer.
And what about you?
I have a pit bull and I really don't know. I think she's an Australian Shepherd pit bull.
What date did the incident happen where you say your dog was injured?
That was on April 29th.
And what happened that day?
I was at work, so my fiance was home. It was the same situation where both of our doors were open, and our dogs were in Brent's house, actually.
How did they get over there?
His door was open. They let them in.
So I want you to take me through that very clearly, though. Your dogs were in the backyard, and the backsliding door to your house was open.
Yeah, all the doors were open again. So their front door was open, my back door was open. The dogs were in and out of my house, their house, and the yard.
So they sort of roam freely throughout between the houses, and that's happened on occasion?
It had gone on for almost 3 months at that point.
Okay. So what happens next?
So my fiance heard my dog screaming. He said he's never heard him make that sound before, so obviously he ran over.
To the defendant's house?
Correct. And then my dog, Phineas, he ran outside. He wouldn't let anyone touch him.
Where's your fiance today?
He's at work.
So I'll hear the hearsay. Go ahead.
So he ran out to see what was wrong with him. My dog wouldn't let anyone touch him. And then finally, when my fiance was able to get close enough to him, he saw that there was a gash on the top of his head and then at his neck, kind of like, like his head was inside of the larger dog's mouth.
Did you see what happened with the dogs?
No, no one did. I mean, really,
Were there
nobody.
any injuries to your dogs?
No.
Okay. Do you have photos of the injuries?
I do.
May I see them?
Yes.
So you take the dog and...
No, I couldn't. I was working at the time.
Okay.
My wife loaded her fiance and the dog into our vehicle.
Into the vet?
This was
to
not
take the dog to the
voluntary.
vet.
My fiance had to beg them while Brent sat on his phone and completely ignored
That is
him.
100% not true. I was working on a conference call. My wife is a homemaker. She was available to do it. I wasn't. My wife loaded them in the car to take them to the vet. En route to the vet, Autumn finally responded to her fiance's texts and calls. When she responded on the phone, my fiance's driving them to the vet. She goes into a jealous fit of rage, screaming at on the phone, "Why on earth would you be in a car with her? You have no business being in a car with that woman." We were taking the dog to the vet. She had us turn around and take the dog to a tanning salon.
I worked at a tanning salon. I wanted to see my dog before he went to the vet because the way my fiance was describing it was
But did you yell
really
at him
bad.
for being in the car with the defendant's
I yelled
wife?
at him for not calling me. I didn't know that he called me. I wasn't allowed to have my phone at
So
work.
it wasn't about the defendant's wife. It was
No,
just about
I
the
know her,
dog.
and
Okay.
I have no problem with that. But I did want to see my dog before he went, so he came and picked up the car and then drove to the vet.
Okay, let's see the photo of the injuries.
That's after the vet.
Okay,
So
what,
after
did he
cleaned it
get
up.
stitches or what was the
No,
treatment
they
at the
just
vet?
gave him a sedative. They just cleaned it up.
Was he
gave
okay
him-
after this? Did
He honestly, physically, he was okay, but he's not the same. He scares really easily. He's never been like that. He hides under their table sometimes when he hears a loud noise.
Right. It was a
He's never-
traumatic experience.
Right.
Coming up on Judge Faith, the trauma goes well beyond the dog's injuries.
There's so much anxiety for me to even be in the same room as him right now because he's yelled at me. He threw my stuff at me. He brought in another woman who I don't even know, and she was physically touching my things and throwing them at me.
Plaintiff Autumn Newberry is suing her neighbor for vet bills after claiming his dog attacked her Dachshund. Defendant Brent Ward says he offered to split the bill, but they never spoke another word.
So you take the dog to the vet, he's treated, and what's the conversation between the two of you? I understand that you agreed to pay a portion of the vet bill, but you didn't, so what happened?
There was no conversation, there was no
That's not true.
apology, there was
That's not true at all.
nothing actually at all. We walked right past his house, he was still on his phone.
And what's your version of this? Your
So
dog.
on-
so you
on
know
multiple
that
occasions, I've
you do
offered-
agree that your
That is
dog
not true.
bit her dog,
Absolutely.
right? Okay.
No, absolutely not. Excuse me. I was agreeing that I offered to pay.
Whose dog bit my
Whose
dog
dog
then?
bit her dog? We don't know. It happened in a
But it was
situation.
one of your dogs.
No, you can't say that. Were you there to see it?
Are you saying that perhaps it was her other dog
It
that
very well could have been. And since then, since the dog has now apparently suffered psychological damages, she's gone and gotten a special needs pit bull since then that's deaf that she screams at. Of course the dog's gonna go hide.
Did you go get
What
a third?
are you
got another
talking about?
dog, a third dog?
We did get a third dog.
The two of you, were you getting along after this? What happened to the relationship?
the relationship
He's a
fell apart.
bully. There's so much anxiety for me to even be in the same room as him right now because he's yelled at me. He threw my stuff at me. He brought in another woman who I don't even know, and she was physically touching my things and throwing them at me.
What is that about?
That was me removing her things from my storage unit. If we're able to bring up the first picture that Autumn had of the yard.
Sure. This is
there's
about
a-
your counterclaim.
Yeah, on the far right of that picture, there's a cellar.
Which belongs
That
to no
cellar is
one.
my private yard, my private storage space. When they moved in, without asking, without saying anything to me, they loaded their stuff into my storage.
The owner said we could. He said it was
The
a
owner
shared
did not
storage.
say that she could.
Is that your misuse of the common area?
No, that's the unauthorized use of my storage. The misuse of the common area, I haven't been able to use the backyard, the common area of the backyard, since she got the third dog. They also have a private yard.
So do
What
you.
about the garbage removal?
You have a private yard as well.
They never once removed their garbage cans to the street, not once.
Why is she liable to you for damages because they
I
didn't
was
take their
forced
garbage
to
out?
remove her garbage.
Who forced you? Really, what would
I'd
have
rather
happened?
not
My
have a-
garbage would not have been taken out. Nothing
I can show
would
you.
have happened.
I can show you a
That's
couple
on-
of photos, Your Honor, if you'd like, of literally garbage that is piled out of their garbage cans because I quit taking it out.
Okay. Let's get back to the issue with the dog. At some point, you agreed to pay for a portion of the vet bill.
On the night of the incident, her fiance mentioned that the bill for the vet was about $306 or something like that. I offered to pay half that vet bill.
No, you did not.
Immediately, I offered
Did
to
you
pay
pay
half.
half? Why would
No,
I
I didn't.
sue you?
He said, "Sure, we'll talk about it."
That never happened.
Communication stopped.
And now, Judge Faith rules.
Your dogs were in his home, and you told me that for 3 months you guys lived in this property. It was common for your dogs and his dogs to be back and forth into each other's homes, and you knew, your fiance knew, that the dogs were over there. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to dismiss your claim against the defendant. He's not obligated legally to pay for the vet bill. In terms of your counterclaim, sir, it seems that a lot of these issues came up after the relationship broke down between the two of you as a result of this dog bite. You don't own this property, so you don't have standing to sue. So on your counterclaim 0, I understand you're moving?
Yes.
When?
At the end of this month, the 31st.
Okay, that's a great decision. I think you should move, and you guys should not have shared yards. And don't share yards. That's what you take away from this case. No shared yards. Have a good day.